Ooh, so big lead here early on by Znatch. If anyone has been keeping up with it, if you want to let me know what happened in map 1. I saw some people talking about it in chat. Wasn't sure what the final was. So Znatch up 5-0. About halfway through this one, you see him pushing up on Crytek. 100 armor pops though. He's got 150 though, so not a bad trade getting him stuck in the corner. Wouldn't have gained anything by grabbing that 100. Unfortunately though, doesn't hit the shot he needs to kind of make Crytek pay the toll for that armor. He's got him locked down at the bottom of the map. You got about 15 seconds. So another pickup, and he just misses that combo. Could have been a full damage. Crytek taking a little bit of chip damage here and there. Does grab the 50, so Crytek actually doing a great job. We'll go over to his perspective. Finding his way back up to it. So you got 100 armor up, 10 seconds till the belt. Ooh, nice turnaround there by Crytek, who grabs the 100. Has a bead on the belt. This might be a double pickup here. And so Znatch is happy to just hold the top of the map and try to... oh, big direct rocket though. Znatch's plans disintegrating as Crytek fighting his way back into this one. He's going to need 1 or 2 more big shots. He's going to push him with rockets, making it happen now, going all in. Oh, and Znatch just making it pay for the aggression. Crytek does hit a couple clutch shots though. Relatively low on HP. Nice rocket and answers with the snipe. These guys are just unloading on each other right now. 100's up. Who's going to get there first? Close range with rockets. Both players go down. Scorched earth. Who's going to get the spawn? Znatch gets it. Quick enforcer shot, though, by Crytek. Oh, and beautiful combo. So Znatch right there knew he had the armor. Picked up the shock. I mean, that was just like step for step. There was no hesitation there. If Znatch is a split second later on that, that shot comes up empty. Oh, hacked from behind. Znatch got snuck up on there. Crytek, though, has been close range, has had a tough time converting. I mean, look at both players, you know, not playing with we'll call ideal pings. Of course, these guys are basically halfway across the world from each other, so it's a wonder they're able to compete at all. Znatch gonna bait him into that belt. Crytek maybe getting a little desperate at this point. Down 7 with 2.5 minutes to go. It's pretty tough. And Znatch, of course, just ruthless. He's not going to give you any second chances. And Znatch coming out on top, 9-1. Pretty convincing in the end there. You see Crytek with his share of pickups, but damage heavily in Znatch's favor. So was this map 2 or 3? Like, if anybody was in chat was watching, I'm curious what the... Gotcha. So, I mean, you know, we've got map 3 here between Crytek and Znatch. I feel like this would be the potential bigger upset. I think based on the seedings, you know, Sass is lower seed than Rookie, but he's also been playing pretty hot lately. Wouldn't shock me to see him take that one. Rookie did eliminate Sass last cup.
Hail to the king, baby.
So yeah, keep that in mind. Rookie eliminating Sass last cup. Sass really outplaying his seed last cup. Fought his way into a top 8 seed this time. Already guaranteed himself a top 8 finish. So Sass doing really well for himself. But here now we're going to look at elimination map. Znatch versus Crytek. Here comes your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Connex 5. Jumping in. Appreciate the sub, Dimko. What's up, man? So this is elimination map. This is map 3. Keep that in mind. Crytek was able to take Leah. Znatch going to be on the run early. We'll go to Crytek's perspective. Does decide to be aggressive. He does. Finishes him off from across the map. This is one of those peekaboo maps, right? You can play hide and seek. You can really find those angles. Crytek going up close and personal, though. So close range rockets, not easy with a high ping. Kind of surprised to see him going into that gameplay style. I'm not sure if he's trying to disrupt Znatch, if it's a strategic move, or if Crytek's just been feeling that kind of way a little bit. But I was expecting him to keep his distance, try to, you know, snipe, shock, rely on the long-range hit scan. But getting up close and personal, not a bad idea if you can make it work, but it's kind of a big commitment there, right? The time between rocket shots so long. Znatch took advantage, has control, and in the lead at the moment early on in this one. Already 3 kills, though, only a minute in, so both players being very active. Crytek does scoop up that 100, but 2 more shock primaries, and Znatch just ruthless. Chasing him down with that link, does eat some more shocks, so Crytek shooting his way back in and actually overcomes it. So Znatch here, I didn't see if he ran out of link ammo or what, but I think he was in good position to finish him off. Crytek just flat out shooting him now. There's another shock and another, and Crytek ties it up. Oh, the combo right back at him. There's the mid-air snipe. And the follow-up. Crytek all of a sudden looks like he's feeling nice and comfy in the driver's seat of this one. We're only 2 minutes in. Already 8 frags on the board. This is a map that can be... It kind of reminds me of Solo in that it really curves in on itself. You can be really slow if you want to be, you know, kind of more methodical, or you can be hyper-aggressive. These two players kind of going back and forth. I was surprised to see them both being so aggressive early on. Now, slowing it down for a second. Crytek significantly more damage right now. That's really your differentiator. Each taking a belt. Only 100 armor extra. See those flak balls coming up. All of these grates in this map you can shoot through. So there's a lot of clever little angles. If someone's hiding like he is right there, if you've got a beat on someone, ooh, you can feed him a flak ball, drop a combo on top of him. Nice rocket right there. That rocket's going to be huge for this next engagement. It's going to push him now down to 49 HP. Link out, smart play. Is he going to chase him through the teleport? He might eat a rocket. Oh, nice. So what he did right there, right? He chased him through, but he knew exactly where he was going, tracked him over to those health packs. And great prediction there by Crytek. Showing a lot of map knowledge, right? Coming through a teleport and just ready to train your aim immediately. I think in more towards last year, whenever we saw this map come up in some of these duel tournaments, we definitely saw some players that kind of like knew it, but they didn't really know it. They didn't know it like the back of their hand, or they couldn't run through it in their sleep right backwards. But I think people are looking a lot more comfortable on it now this year. Yes, this is the 3rd tiebreaker map, so I mean, this would definitely be an upset if Crytek hangs on, looking really good right now. Oh, and Crytek right now, let's see if we can get his accuracies on screen here. 75% with the rockets, but I mean, 75% with the sniper rifle, 40% shock. Mostly been all shock. I was surprised. I expected him to see more sniper out of him, but he's been very comfortable with it. It's been pure aim. His aim has shot himself out of some tough situations, but it's also been a positioning game. I mean, he's put himself in position to force that type of game. Gotcha. So this is a map, so kind of like Leah then, where the accuracy counts are a little wonky. Well, needless to say, he's still coming through with heavy emphasis on that shock rifle either way. And we've seen that. I mean, that's one of the advantages of all those grates, you know, all these corners and twists in this map. If you can catch people with combos like that, you can really turn the tide. Znatch finally getting a big chunk of damage, down by 6 halfway through, but can't ever count him out. Oh, and the rocket's coming through. Oh, and there's the kill right there. Trades back and forth those combos. Znatch, I don't know. I presume he has timing on the belt. At this level, you'd expect him to have that. He's going to head back over there. It's up in 3 seconds. Does he know that? He's going to try to hit Crytek a couple times. He knows he's weak. One more shot could do it. Oh, looks for the peak. He thought about shooting that ball under that window. It's a really tricky shot. It makes him... You kind of have to stand still to hit it. Didn't go for it. Decided to wait for him to come around the corner there. They trade. Just quite missing, or just can't quite hit. Barely missing each other. Crytek being hyper aggressive. The combo right back in his face. Both players under 50 HP. Znatch would love for these health packs to come up. He's completely unsure about where Crytek is, though. Oh, Crytek could have walked up and grabbed that 100. I don't think he realized. Now down to 25 HP. One shot will take him out. Stinger comes out. And this is the advantage of having that 6 frag lead. Crytek at this point, he's on the run a little bit, but if he just takes time off the clock, he actually scoops up 25 armor, right? Belt's not up for another 14 seconds. Not much for Crytek to grab here. And that shock ammo, if Znatch has shock ammo there, he switches to it, maybe gets an instant kill. Instead, he has to back off, and that's going to give Crytek the ability to restack a bit. Shock goes back into Znatch's hands. Time going to start being a factor. It's not a huge map. Ooh, almost caught Crytek peeking. Both players still relatively stacked here, though, and now Znatch up, turns his back on his opponent, but does turn around and juggle him, but shots back and forth. Both players were stacked, and now both players almost back down to starting health. Oh, big rockets coming out, juggles him around. Oh, he wanted that shock ball. I don't know if he would have hit him with it. But you can see all of these shots coming through the grates. Both players looking real comfy, trying to cut those corners. And Crytek here has done a great job of just slowing the game down. He hasn't been in the driver's seat for a bit. He trades damage there, Znatch down to 10 HP. Belt's coming up, but Crytek knows he can take him out with just about anything. Yeah, he's got the Enforcer out. He's going to chase and get the chase down kill. And so that's a trade. Crytek goes down, answers right back. And that's just another, what, minute and a half, 2 minutes off the clock since either player's gained a point. That's perfectly fine if you're Crytek. You don't have to win this game at this point. You just have to ride it out, take your fights. Took one right there with the rockets. Got a nice couple of kills. Crytek's rocket juggling has been really on point. I didn't see Leah, but I'm wondering. I mean, Leah's definitely a map that can be dominated by rockets. If he's really feeling comfortable with it, that could be a map to watch out for from Crytek in this tournament. Oh, a couple snipes in a row, 3 in a row. Crytek putting him down. You know, Znatch right now just can't get in. We'll go from his perspective, see what it looks like, but he just hasn't been able to put any kind of semblance of control together to fight his way back in it, and there's the combo right there. Up to a 9 frag lead with a minute and a half to go. I think that's pretty much going to do it on this map. You can put together a few spawn kills in a row, but 9 is going to be a tall ask. You see, only about a 400, not under a 300 damage difference. But 6 to 2 belts, 10 to 500 armors. Crytek has just been running the map. Oh, looking for the mid-air rockets. Znatch going to be chasing him down. I mean, at this point, I think he knows this one's over. Oh, Crytek on the killing spree now, just relentless with that sniper. One more look at the scoreboard as we close this one out, but it looks like Crytek going to be moving on. So I think what people would consider an upset here. I mean, certainly, oh, and the full flak. Certainly ping coming into play when you got 2 players from, I mean, literally across the world. You know, South America and Europe playing against each other. But the win by Crytek moving on. So big tournament for him. Someone who I think maybe got a little bit unlucky in the last tournament in January with the seed. Give you a quick look at the brackets right now. Give that a quick reset as well. And there you can see Crytek now outplaying his seed. He was guaranteed top 8. This is going to push him into top 6 now. He's going to be moving on to face Reflex in that lower bracket. Now, I've heard Rookie versus Sass is going on now. I don't know what the status is on Demon versus Yi. I don't know if they're waiting or anything. Okay, looks like we're going to jump into Rookie versus Sass. So we will head over to that. So again, another opportunity for essentially a revengeance game. Rookie he beat Sass in the last tournament. I forget if he actually knocked him. I think he maybe knocked him into the lower bracket. I don't think he actually eliminated him.
Hail to the king, baby.
Here we go on deep once again. Sass going to be on top on Rookie early on, a little less than halfway through this one. Ooh, big flak ball coming out into his close range. Rockets versus flak. You see so many of these fights now over that 100 armor, especially since you can bounce someone off the back of the map now and get that instant kill. 100 armor and belt, so dangerous whenever you're just kind of getting juggled around like that. Sass though gonna back up, does manage to grab. Gonna go on board with Rookie now. That did manage to grab that belt at Sass. Rookie's gonna be trading snipers. He doesn't want that though. He can't trade damage here yet. He's looking for shock. Shock's already been taken. Nice patience by Rookie here, not wanting to give him an angle. Oh, but he does. Right at the last second. Sass snipes him down, takes a 2-frag lead, and we are just now hitting the halfway point of this map. Ooh, close range flak. Anyone could come out on top here. Was that a flak ball that he nailed him with midair? Sass just sits him down there. Doesn't get the kill, but huge damage. Does eat a flak ball of his own, and both players are one tap away from death at this point. Sass does have Stinger. He could throw some shots down range. Oh, he's looking for that belt. Just has the timing slightly off. If he pulls out Stinger, he could take him out. He's got to be careful in the back of that ledge. Rookie, though, goes down to the air rocket. Rookie with it's just a split-second late push, and I mean, he just didn't have the exact timing of it, and that's the advantage Sass had there. Knew exactly when to step on it. There comes the Stinger, but, you know, that Stinger could have come out for either player a little bit before that belt, actually, and they probably get the kill. Oh, looking for the mid-air rocket. Nice wall run by Rookie. Rookie going to that shock. Looking to just juggle him around, rely on pure aim. It's only a 3-frag game. Not too concerned about the time frame at this point. It's more about control. Sass only 28 armor. You can see a pretty good job of concealing himself while he takes those shots. Oh, the mid-air rocket sends him to outer space, and Rookie's going to be flying away. 100 armor. Looks like he got taken. Belts up. He backed into it, maybe. 100 belt, I should say, up right now. Sass probably knows that. I think he heard it spawn right there. He's going to look for the shot on the shock rifle. Oh, and he goes forward. So this will actually give Rookie the ability to outrun him to belt if he wants to, but he snipes him. The standstill snipe just to make the shot that much easier. It's a pretty clutch shot there. Oh, he actually ends up giving up, so Rookie's smart heads-up play. Chases down the shield belt anyway. That'll give him an opportunity to fight his way back into this one. Damage going back and forth. Rookie wisely picks up that 100, so Rookie now has turned the tide. Still plenty of time. Try to make something happen here. Looking for that shot, looking for that. Ooh, that eats a snipe. And this is what Sass is so good at, is just flying around, hitting you with snipes from weird angles, not really standing toe-to-toe and giving you the ability to retaliate. And that's what can be so frustrating. It's like a mosquito just buzzing around sometimes. Rookie looking to catch him in the corner, maybe with a shock jump, but just not getting the angle he wants. Feeding them flak balls around the corner, and that's just so frustrating. It's exactly what I was talking about before. He can be a very difficult player to get a beat on, and right there you see him sniping him from downrange and grabbing that belt, and I don't know, that might do it with just over 2 minutes left, up to a 5-frag lead. Got the rockets out now. He's going to take him out with the turn away. No look rocket turns around, looking for the spawn before he even killed him. Didn't find him, but it's another kill, and more importantly, more time off the clock. That much closer to another map win here. Ooh, Rookie, I think, flacked himself in the face. Yeah, Rookie not thrilled with that flak ball to the face he fed himself. I guess that was map 2. Yeah, okay, people in chat saying, so that will be a victory there for Sass. So Sass and Crytek, number 8, number 9 seeds, both outplaying their seeds up to top 6 now. So great showings for them, eliminating Znatch and Rookie, respectively. So shout out to Crytek and Sass. I mean, they're still not out. They still have a chance to, you know, push even further up the rankings here, but certainly making some progress here, one event to another. So I think Demon and Yi are going to be getting kicked off soon, if I'm not mistaken. See, if you guys had gamer pedals, you wouldn't accidentally hit binds because you'd just be like playing one of those big, you know, like Tom Hanks keyboards where you're just stomping around on them. Every key could be its own bind. It would also let you not, like, you could aim just as intensely while also taunting your opponent. It's efficient. Yes, the the banter spilling over into chat. I mean, if you're gonna change sense on the fly, I feel like you need a full on like a hands on throttle and stick, like one of those setups, and then also maybe even like a manual transmission stick thing. Like I'm sure peripheral makers make those for like the Forza players or whatever. If you're gonna lower your sensitivity, you just downshift, raise it, you upshift. And then you can have a clutch pedal, you see? So the clutch pedal will activate, it'll be your modifier, and then you just shift, and that changes your sensitivity. And then when you go up, you can say something like, engage. All right, so I'm looking for matches. I think I've heard that we still have one going on for, well, I guess they're all done, but they're either about to start, like Reflex, Crytek, Phantasy, Sass. But do we have Demon and Yi? I mean, are they going to be playing right now? I certainly don't want to miss winner's bracket final. If we ran all 3 of these matches simultaneously, then from then on, we would only have one match at a time, right? Then you'd have lower bracket semi, lower bracket final, and grand finals in order. Yeah, shout out to Killing. He had to bow out of the tournament for work, but he has been helping organize. And sometimes, like, having that extra set of eyes, telling us, you know, what's going on in the other hubs, letting us know what match progress is. All of that's been super helpful. So shout out to Killing in particular, but all the admins, as always. It takes more work than a lot of people realize to organize this many players, you know, on one given date and everything like that. So that, of course, the community for donating. I mean, the prize amount for this tournament is insane. Okay, so we're going to stick around then for upper bracket final, Demon versus Yi. Remember, these two, they did play in the final. This is a rematch from the final of the last tournament in January, where Yi fought his way up, and Demon actually took him out in the grand final. I mean, I feel like if you donate to the donators, at some point you're just paying for paying extra fees, right? I guess if you go the friends and family route with something, maybe they don't charge you. You can always just mail a coffee tin with a bunch of $100 bills stuffed in the middle of it. Nothing sketchy about that. Oh, was that in November? Yes, Yi didn't play in January. That's a good point. Yeah, Yi didn't play in January, right? He only played in November, and that's whenever he played Demon in the final. Yeah, I've got a bookmark folder with like 4 or 5 different cups from the past year and a half. I was looking through them earlier. We have so much going on, and that's not even getting into the whole UTPL seasons that we did. There's just been so much activity. So, yeah, shout out to everybody for that. Shout out to, of course, the other casters. You saw Deucic here earlier, but we've had some other folks in the community jump in and cast and stream and co-cast and all of that. Again, a good time to mention, every cup we've got new maps, new versions of maps, new, tweaks to mods and stuff. There's a lot of folks behind the scenes there. Almost wish I could create, maybe we'll work on that for the next stream. Maybe we'll work on like a credits page. Be like, here are the people that have made these maps and tweaked these maps that we're playing. Here's the admin. Just would like to share some of that credit. Is Samix call? I mean, Samix, you will have the ability. I'll start doing predictions now, and you can put your fake channel space bucks on the line if you're so sure about that. Breaking noses. I believe Demon and Yi are going to play, and that's. I didn't want to jump into one and miss that one. Certainly wanted to catch winners bracket finals. Mikey, I've got something for you. Just be patient. Dimko, where's the woo come on from? Is that from Fallacy's channel? Okay, it looks like we do have a match. So Demon versus Yi will be on NYC. Got it. All right. Again, we are jumping in now. Winners bracket final. Then we'll move down to wrap up the lower bracket. Demon's still undefeated. Yi, though, I believe, has only lost to, yes, in the prior tournaments, which has only been the one in November, he lost twice to Demon. So Demon's the only person that's taken out Yi. Don't be surprised, especially the way he's playing, to see Yi fight his way back up to the grand finals. We could see a rematch here today. All right, we got Demon in red. It looks like Yi's going to end up in blue. All right, prediction going up now. If you want to put your money where your mouth is, we'll do it one map at a time during this match. All right, you got 2 minutes. Looks like Yi, I thought he was connected. He should be coming up here soon. I'll crank up the jams just a little bit. Shout out to the UT99 soundtrack. Yeah, Dimko, I mean, it's a good point, right? You look back and, I mean, I guess if we're still waiting on them, I'll take one more quick look at the brackets. I mean, at this point in the bracket, everyone's had a tough path. I mean, look at the people being eliminated, right? Levok, Plasma, Psy, Matt, right? Then you're looking at like Znatch and Rookie being eliminated, right? I mean, so the players that are still in it, Demon and Phantasy, of course, gave us another classic match. And we're about to see that, these final three, I mean, Demon versus Yi, Reflex, Crytek, and Phantasy Sass, all of those are going to be insane games. And I mean, you never count out Reflex. Phantasy, though, it would not shock me to see Phantasy get all the way back into the grand finals. Wouldn't shock me. Yi, of course, has been on fire. Demon has been unstoppable. So I mean, I don't think anybody would be surprised to see Yi also back in there. Crytek and Sass, you know, 8 and 9 seeds, they've already pulled upsets getting this far. How hot are they, right? Crytek over Znatch, I don't think is one people would have predicted. But he looked on point. He looked very comfortable, not just with his sniping, but his rockets. Kind of getting into that juggle mode, which is something that's hard to counter, and I think people aren't necessarily used to countering that, especially against high pingers. All right, looks like we do have 2 players in the server now, Yi in blue, Demon on red. So they're just going to get settled here. Pings look great, 20 versus 32 right now, about as good as you could ask for. All right, and new for us today, we do have this revolutionary technology here, you know, an advancement in casting analytic capabilities. Our StatCat's going to be bringing us some matchups info throughout the tournament. See, again, in 2021, or it's 2020/2021, and in the matches they only played in November, Demon was the only losses for Yi. He's only lost to Demon, hasn't played in any of the other tournaments, but Demon is 2-0 over him, has not lost to him in a tournament match yet. Looks like players are ready, and we'll be getting this one kicked off soon. Yes, we there we go. Looks like we are ready to go here. All right, players are ready. Here comes your countdown. 3, 2, 1, and it's game time, baby. Connex 5. We are here with your winners bracket. Final winner will go straight to the grand final. You got Demon versus Yi. Again, you see the StatCat analytics right there. Yi 0-2 versus Demon. Demon, the only one that beat Yi in the November tournament that he played in. So an intriguing matchup. An interesting to see how those stats line up after this event's over. Oh, Yi with the... turned his back on his opponent, got jumped on. Took a risk there. Demon, though, cut him off, got the shots, and Demon has just been lights out on this map. Phantasy, in that earlier match today, gave him a challenge, and that's kind of been the pattern. Curious to find out, you know, who else can challenge Demon, and I think Yi is definitely going to be a contender. The way he's been playing, look at that, throwing the spam out across the map. It looks like Demon has been wanting to cross the center of the map a lot, and people have caught him out on that. Phantasy caught him with rockets on Leah. We've seen some combos come his way on other maps. Maybe that's, I wouldn't call it a weakness, but maybe that's a point of vulnerability. That said, with prediction combos like that, I mean, that's just going to get you instant kills all day long. Follow up with a stinger. Demon right now on a roll. Not even a minute and a half into this one. Already 500 damage. A little bit of bio rifle damage it looked like there. Yi can try to catch him. Ooh, really wanted that sniper rifle, and I think that's something that we saw, like the people that have slowed the game down against Demon, that have pushed him out of his comfort zone once he's taken the lead, like Phantasy, have done well is whenever they've been denied, right? If they really wanted that sniper rifle, he was zoning them out of it. They would concede that and back out. Yi there, I think, was really kind of got tunnel vision a little bit. Tunneled in that sniper rifle, really wanted it, was maybe thinking headshot. But he gave up a kill for it and didn't get anything out of it. Ooh. Demon right now just not missing anything. Look at him, 180 over 150. And I said it before, Phantasy and Demon, when they were playing their match, maybe two of the best players in this tournament at constantly scooping up resources. It's not just about, you know, get into a fight, go get health, go get armor, get into a fight, and repeat. Constantly in transition, in between fights, in between armor spawns. Oh, just missed that shot. You saw him lining it up. Demon right now just taking free shots at Yi. Yi, no ability to retaliate. Finally spams some link at him. But Demon still at 160 HP, has the 100 armor in front of him. He may make a move on this belt. And great positioning here by Demon. So Demon from here can attack the 100 armor or the belt. He hasn't committed to one or the other. So therefore he hasn't conceded one or the other. Right? He made a move there to be able to try to take at least some damage off of it. So Yi does get the 100. That'll give him the ability to, you know, get a sniper rifle under his belt. Have some survivability. A couple of nice shots there by Yi. Oh, he's standing out in the open that we might want to back off. He's just going to stand toe-to-toe. Trades damage, gets Demon down to 85. He's going to have a little bit of an advantage. There's still tons of time on the clock is kind of the good news if you're Yi here. Demon got his early kill so quickly. Oh, the anti-combo just narrowly misses him down to 35. He's going to be right in front of him, though. Crosses his line of sight. All Demon had to do was pull the trigger, and the double kill, direct rocket. Demon's so fundamentally sound right now. He's not missing easy shots. He's throwing rockets and zoning out multiple spawns every time he gets a kill. Oh, shots like that, right? I mean, just popping out. And that's going to basically prevent Yi from being able to challenge him. He had to go grab that 100 armor to get something out of that exchange. The falling snipe right there made it look easy. It's not an easy shot. There's so many kind of axes of movement there, and just the falling, turning around sniper shot, making it look easy right now is Demon. And Yi's he's doing damage to him. Take a look at the scoreboard. It may not feel like it, but Demon just on a roll right now. And there we go. Finally goes down. Yi with just a barrage of shock damage. He does have 15 seconds till that belt spawns. Oh, he's going to be eating a ton of stinger damage. Oh, it's a smart play by Demon. He actually made him eat up all of his shock ammo. And now this could turn into a kill for Demon with what should have probably been an advantage to Yi. So that's smart play by Demon, just situational awareness. I don't think he knew he was going to run out of shock ammo, but he put a lot of pressure on him with that stinger. You saw him miss 2 or 3 shots. So actually a little bit of a confusion there. Demon thinking Yi was going for the 100. He actually circled around to get that 50. Yi though, oh, right up top. Oh, the anti-combo takes him down. One more shot could take him out, and there it is. He taking advantage. Still 4 minutes on the clock. I mean, this is a map that you can chain together kills pretty effectively. The problem is he's not coming out of these fights with much HP. The Demon's being able to retaliate. Oh, that flag misses the first. Juices him with the second. He goes down, but he does get a 2-for-1 exchange there, so making some headway here. Sniper's gone. He takes an enforcer shot at him. Unfortunately, it tells him exactly where he is. 7 seconds till the belt spawns. Demon's going to grab 100 and pressure it. This is going to be difficult for Yi. He's got rockets coming in. Nice job with that link. Oh, and unfortunately, steps right around that belt. Demon steps right on it and pulls out the stinger. Knows he can stand toe-to-toe and out-damage him. Yi getting a bit unlucky there. Had actually decent position, and I like that link rush. Did a ton of damage to him. Unfortunately, just tap dance right around that belt. Wasn't able to get it. Demon makes him pay, and this is what we talked about before, right? That killer instinct. Demon's not going to let you get away with making a mistake. He's been able to clamp down every time someone gives him an opening. It's not just hitting one shot. It's not even just getting one kill. It's just completely blocking you out of the map. And potentially chaining multiple kills together. Nice rockets right there off that wall dodge. There is the concession with 3 minutes to go. All Demon in map 1. All right, I didn't see what the maps will be, so this will be a nice surprise for all of us. Yeah, Cog. I mean, Demon. Oh, it looks like we're gonna be on solo. Okay.
Hail to the king, baby.
All right, prediction up. Got to get this one going quickly because they're ready to go here. Demon versus Yi. Winners bracket map 2. So be on solo. Here comes your countdown. 3, 2, 1. Man, it's game time, baby. Connex 5 kicking it off. Map 2. Demon just steamrolling on a race. He's looked basically untouchable on that map. Phantasy's the only one that's made him blink. And even then he was able to come back. And I think that's a map that it seems to me like from, I'm not super familiar with Yi's playstyle, but from what I've seen, it seems like a map that could play to his strengths. It's such a big strength for Demon right now. Nice chase down by Demon. Again with the Stinger. I feel like I've seen more Stinger kills in this matchup than any so far. I think, I said this at the opening whenever we had the kind of pregame show along with Dusik there. I think map selection is going to be huge. If anyone's going to try to dethrone Demon, I think it's going to have to try to avoid his strengths, come up with something he's maybe less comfortable on, doesn't fit his playstyle. The downside is he's going to have a lot of the same strengths as a lot of these other players, right? Like not everybody can dominate with rockets like someone, like Phantasy can, which, again, I keep mentioning because he's given him probably the greatest challenge in these last few tournaments. Oh, there's a big rocket coming out from Demon, answering right back. The link coming out from Yi, doing some damage, maybe just trying to get something in him before he goes down. He's not really going to be able to chase him down here. Already over 500 damage, though, so Yi off to a much better start as far as damage is concerned. Demon down at 2 HP. Oh, Yi finally chases him down, does take some damage in the process. Right on top of the 100 armor, though, maybe able to get 2 out of this. There's one shot, needs another. I like that play, pulling out the link, just needs one more tick. Oh, and the cutoff. So tie game here. Yi now getting on a roll. I'm presuming Erase would have been Demon's map pick, so Yi here on his map looking a lot more comfortable already. Oh, rockets flying in. Oh, Yi gets bounced right off it. Unfortunate. Nice shock shots, though. 3 more. So he does go down, but Yi put a ton of damage on Demon to take, some of that advantage away. And so that's going to make Demon back off a little bit. If he takes one sniper, he's going to have to back off. He's going to just go get that 100 armor. Unfortunately for Yi, he got pinned in that corner and didn't gain anything there. So Demon was able to take shots back up to the 100, re-engage. And Yi, unfortunately, a little bit of empty time. Shooting his way back in it, though, and gets his kill. So Yi just daring Demon to stand toe-to-toe with him and just simply outshot him there. So really impressive sniping display. Keeps him in the game tied up about a third of the way through this map. Remember, this is map 2, so Demon already up 1-0. Looking for a spot in the grand finals. Ooh, that rocket. The grenade and the primary follow-up, and they kill each other, so still tied up. Who's going to get what spawn? Shield belt spawns right now. Yi's got the shock. Knocks him off of the belt. Perfect timing there, and the turnaround kill. He takes a rocket. But we talked before about no hesitation when you know exactly what your next couple steps are going to be. Just a split second later, he might not have succeeded there. Instead, gets it, eats a full bio rifle shot, and we are now playing in Chernobyl. We do see another snipe, though, there by Demon to take him out. So still a healthy advantage in the damage department by Demon, but Yi able to do a much better job of controlling the 100 armors in particular on this map. Again, for those of you wondering, this is your record StatCat tracking going to show us. That was from the November Cup. Demon, the only one to beat Yi in that cup. It was 2-0 over them. They haven't played in a cup before or since, so not a whole lot of data between these two. In fact, not a whole lot of data on Yi to begin with. Ooh, that combo by Demon just missed. He guessed right. Yi went left and was able to escape. That's a big escape right there. Yi was in a tough spot. No armor in that corner. Just went for it. Got out. Made Demon basically flip a coin, and he came out alive. Huge in the tie game. Rockets to Rockets close. Oh, close range. He takes himself out. Has Demon down to 31 HP. If he can guess which health he's going for, might be able to finish him off. Doesn't, though. A little bit of damage, but Demon answers back with 2 straight snipes. Oh, not a close range Link. Demon's Link has been less featured, I feel like, from what I've seen in this tournament. Oh, than in prior tournaments. And the bait by Yi. That's the kind of shot we saw, Demon have success with against him. Basically baiting him into being aggressive. Situation where maybe use someone's biggest strength against them. Demon, knowing that he has advantages, will sometimes push and be aggressive. You can catch him around corners sometimes. But right now, working out for him, 2 frag lead and well on his way to the grand final, but still plenty of time left. Ooh, diving right over his line of sight. Has rockets out. I like that move. Only got 36 damage out, but was in, I think had the right weapon out for the situation. There's a headshot. Demon now going to get pinned in by 50. Another snipe takes him down to 27. And there it is. Yi right now on fire with this sniper rifle. You can find him off the spawn. There's one more shot. One more will do it. 5 straight shots, including a headshot. He's on fire. His ping spiking a little bit there. Doesn't look like it's sustained, so should be okay. Ties it up just like that. From what I'm seeing, oh, nice combo down through the grate. Yi is actually able to stand toe-to-toe with Demon in a straight hit scan duel. He's been out sniping him. I don't know about, like, accuracy-wise, but... Oh, and the rockets, though, from Demon, closing that gap. And that's a scenario where Yi might need to pull out the combos and just kind of create a wall. Gives up the kill and the belt. That's a big win there by Demon. And Demon went all in there. He just charged rockets and dove right at his hit scan. Dangerous proposition. They're actually dead even here on health and armor. Slight advantage for Demon. If Yi trusted in his Link, he could have stood in there toe-to-toe against the Stinger, but said he's going to jump in his face now, punish him. Oh, the rockets, though, coming out. 163 damage, and he's going to be on the run. There's a chase down with that Stinger. Only 35 HP, but he is going to have 100 armor. Nice combo there. I would say he's just showing off, but I mean, I'm pretty sure right there that was a prediction based on a spawn. Yi right now going to soak up sniper rifle and 50. I mean, we know Yi's strategy here is going to be to try to outsnipe him. Oh, unfortunately, Demon right now is just out predicting him. I would say Yi's probably out shooting him. And look at that, almost dead even on damage. Basically 1 shield belt's difference on the damage, but you can see dead even 100 grabs, 5-2. Demon is just dominating that belt, and I think that's a huge part of the difference in the score now. Yeah, I was saying, like he's shooting very well against Demon. But Demon, he's playing Duel. He's denying him resources. He's predicting him. He's making him eat free damage. Oh, mid-air flak just missed. Going all in for it. Gonna try to take the lift, and Demon, smart play. Dives in the lift, denies him. Basically becomes a fight in a phone booth. Flak is very scary there, but Demon is happy to get in his face. I mean, I think he's seen when he gets the Stinger trained on Yi, he actually really disrupts his aim. There it is again. Tons of Stinger coming out. I'm not sure if that's an explicit strategy here by Demon or if it's just been kind of what he's been feeling. I mean, Stinger is hit scan. So if you're in those medium to long distances, it can be better than Link. And there is the concession. Demon coming out strong. Now, Yi actually gave him a pretty good challenge in the first half of this map. It's 14-8. It's going to look like it was one-sided. Yi had his opportunities there. That's as close. I think we maybe saw some closer games from Phantasy, but other than that, Yi definitely giving him a challenge there, especially on a map like Solo. Keep that in mind. Someone's going to face Demon in the grand final. I know I'm going out on a limb there. Very curious to find out who it is. Is it Yi? Is it Phantasy, right? Is it someone that we've seen him play earlier today? I mean, certainly it could be Crytek in theory, right? We still have Crytek versus Reflex going on over there. Is it going to be someone where they're, how do the map picks come into play? I guess is really the question that I'm bringing up here. looked, I don't know if vulnerable is the right word, but looked like beatable potentially on solo. Actually looked somewhat beatable on a race for the first time I think that we've seen it all from Phantasy earlier in the day, or indeed in that prior match. So very curious to find out what people choose against Demon in that grand final, where he will be able to kick back, sip on some, I don't know, Mai Tais or margaritas or whatever. We're going to look and see if we have any of these lower bracket semis going on still. Reflex, Crytek, Phantasy, Sass. Rookie and Snatch are playing. I guess they're just getting some, that would be 7th and 8th match going on. I do see Phantasy Sass up. I'm going to jump into that one just because it's right in front of my face and I get distracted by shiny objects. We got us a tie game here. I'm going board with Phantasy. Looks like he's, in control. Takes the lead. 120 over 150. How often do we see Phantasy running around with over 100 HP? I feel like he just... It's like Sonic the Hedgehog when you get that... I guess it'd be Sonic 2. Whenever you get the electric shield, just the rings just magnetize straight over to you. I feel like Phantasy is that with health vials. He just walks near them and they just float over into him. 150 now, only 35 armor, but that's what allows him to take a shot like that. Get sniped from across the way. This is one of those maps where Sassmaster's sniping and just peekaboo kind of ability, can really come into play, but Phantasy with a great fadeaway rocket. Belt should be up. There it is. And a lot of these rockets that Phantasy's throwing around, they're not just to try to do direct damage, they're also area denial. In the same way that you might shoot like a shock ball without necessarily intending to finish it up as a combo and do damage. You know, you throw it down one hallway and then you head down the other, right? It's area denial. It's making someone think twice before poking their head out. A lot of these rockets are the same kind of thing. When you hear those charging around the corner, you have to think twice about where your aggression is going to go. Phantasy almost eats a mid-air rocket by Sass there. Eats one to the back there. A couple of shots though across mid, and Phantasy with that extra health, he can tank all these shots. He doesn't have to outshoot Sass here to still win this fight. And that is the luxury you get whenever you just constantly soak up armor, vials, and other resources like that. Take a quick look at the scoreboard. Pretty interesting damage numbers. Sass actually out-damaging him, significantly more healing. A couple more 100 armors, though. One more belt for Sass. So this is probably a very fundamentally sound game for Phantasy to find himself in the lead, despite the damage and belt differential there. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know there's different versions of maps coming into play. Nice shot there by Phantasy on a killing spree. It's definitely a map where you can get on the run and extend this lead. Only a minute to go, though. Doesn't want to give up any kind of slack. I mean, 100 armor on board for Sassmaster. He's got rockets out. Let's see what he can make happen. Eats a rocket. Anything like that's going to slow him down in Phantasy. Again, pinging him in the back with a rocket. Just going to make it that much harder. This is almost the exact same situation where Phantasy came up short against Demon. Ended up being Demon hiding in that sniper corner, forcing Phantasy to chase him down. Gets the kill. Phantasy with the flak. Juices him down by that shield belt. Takes him up to a 4-frag lead, and I think that's going to do it. A snipe there by Sass, and does avoid those rockets, but looking for the finisher. I think Phantasy's just going for a mid-air rocket at this point, knowing he has the victory. It was a 6-frag lead, or excuse me, a 5-frag lead up to 6. All right, good game there. They're calling GGs, so was that the second map? I'm not sure if anyone else was watching there. Looks like that was. So it looks like Phantasy going to move on. We'll move over to the brackets for a bit. So keep in mind, though, again, it looks like Reflex moving on from his side. So there we go. Looks like we'll have our lower bracket final coming up. Reflex versus Phantasy. But again, shout out to Crytek and Sass. I mean, you saw them coming in 8 and 9 seeds, and that was after both having perhaps overachieved in prior cups, right? I mean, I don't think 6 months ago these guys would have been favored to finish top 6 in a tournament like this. But gradually getting better every tournament. You know, Crytek and Sass basically tied for what is this, 5th and 6th? So pretty good showing by them in such a stacked field. Crytek even taking a map off Reflex. I'd be curious what map he took off him. Yeah, I don't know what Slay's been up to. It's a valid question. You can probably find him on Discord and ask. I mean, certainly, I don't. This isn't necessarily. It's obviously not a North American Cup, strictly speaking. I think that's largely the contingent that joined it. But I mean, you got guys like Crytek from South America playing. You had Znatch play from Europe. So an international cup, though largely a North American audience here. So Reflex versus Phantasy, that's going to be an interesting one. And from what I can tell, Reflex and Phantasy haven't played each other. Double checking my stats here. Yeah, I don't think Reflex and Phantasy have played each other in any of these prior cups. So interesting here. I mean, they're certainly familiar with each other. When you don't have, now I'm sure they practiced against each other. I'm sure they played games against each other, but maybe not an official match. Curious to find out how map selection works then, right? You don't have that history. You can't look back and go, oh man, last time I played this guy, you know, this map didn't work out, wasn't pretty. This map I got a little bit closer, or this map maybe I won on, so I want to, you know, double down on that one. I'm not actually sure which hub they're going to use either. For those of you curious about that little exhibition match going on, Snatch right now up 17-12 on Rookie on a race. So almost 30 frags between the two of them in their kind of unofficial 7th place match. Yeah, and I mean, and that's a good point. That's why when you guys, you know, we look at these community cups, haven't been bringing in the UTPL stats because different format, different rule set, you know, different server selection and things like that all comes into play. There's always different challenges with all of that. All right, looks like they got map picks. Leah, ASDF, and Mythic. Oh, so we'll see Mythic for the first time. I don't know if it's been played before today, but it'll be the first time I'm streaming it, certainly today. We saw it a couple of times in prior tournaments. I mean, I believe it's fair to say the newest Duel map that we're seeing in these events. So really curious to find out, you know, who's more familiar with it. We talked about that with with Deep earlier, right? One of those maps that came up as the tiebreaker a lot of times, maybe more last year. Something some of the players were kind of familiar with, but maybe didn't really feel as comfortable on it. And it really showed whenever you got into those matches where one player was 85% comfortable and another player was like, you know, 60% comfortable on it. Mythic could be another one of those where we have that gap in familiarity. All right, so looking for that hub to come up now. I guess I'll take this opportunity to let anyone know, if you're not familiar, I do have a YouTube channel that I export all of these VODs to. Obviously, it'll be on Twitch as well as a highlight for the second half of this tournament, but yeah, I don't actually know if Mythic is a remake or not. But yeah, YouTube/Connex5. You can use !YouTube in chat if you want to get a link to it. It's an archive, right? It's mostly the same VODs that you're going to find on Twitch, but a little more organization perhaps. So I don't know, some folks like to watch it in one place or another. Certainly feel free to follow and sub and whatever the buttons people press on the internet. I don't know. It's there. Certainly, anyone who wasn't here for the first half of the tournament, you want to go back and watch some of those matches. Twitch.tv/DusickFPS. Dusick was the one taking us through the first half of this tournament. So shout out to him, giving me the ability to eat some food and not yell for 8 hours straight. Though I will say this tournament has been flying by. Really big shout out to all the players. You know, I've said it before, but I mean, 5-10 years ago when we'd have a tournament like this, there'd be all sorts of nonsense. There'd be people, you know, disappearing for an hour during their match because they had to go to the store to buy some Mountain Dew and Doritos or whatever. Right, there would just be all sorts of. I mean, we certainly had worse internet to deal with more consistently, but yeah, you just never knew what you were going to get. You could always count on at least an hour or two of delays. We don't have to worry about that now. People are a lot more on the ball. Really appreciate that. I mean, the fact that we could have a double limb tourney pretty much entirely like, I mean, we did move to 10-minute duels, which I think is a big help. But I mean, you know, a 20-some-odd player tournament, double elimination, all in one day. We used to struggle to get 8 done in a weeknight, right? Which granted was a weeknight, but you know, we've only been going for a few hours here. So shout out to all the players. Also makes it a lot easier, I think, to watch, and certainly a lot lighter on the admins. Let's see. Looks like we're going to be going to Chicago. That makes sense. Yeah, it looks like Reflex has a game up. So bear with me and I will get a prediction.
Hail to the king, baby.
All right, prediction up, y'all. Again, this is map 1 of your lower bracket. Are we at a semifinal now, I think? Yeah, semifinal, because then Yee's going to be playing the winner. So here we go. Players are ready to go. Get your predictions in. They'll be closing in just a minute. Here comes your countdown. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it's game time, baby. Connex5 jumping in. We've got our lower bracket semifinal now. We're up to top 4. Reflex versus Phantasy. Oh, Phantasy with the fadeaway. Oh, and the flak up in his face. Reflex just turns him into a fine red paste. The sneaky plays. Now, who's going to get out in front of that 100 armor? You see the rocket flying up there. We're going to go back to Reflex perspective. He's on top. Ooh, that rocket just missed clipping him. So early advantage to Reflex. Phantasy's looked really nice on this map with his rocket prediction heavy gameplay style that he's used at times. Oh, Reflex, of course, relying on that aim. I'm surprised he didn't hang on to that sniper and hit a drop shot. Instead, weapon switch, wasn't able to get a shot off. Didn't really hurt him in any particular way, but maybe could have had another little bit of damage. I mentioned this before. For any of you wondering, these two have not played in an event in any of these UT Plus Community Cups. Somehow they've avoided crossing each other's paths. They've definitely practiced together. Oh, that combo. Phantasy diving right through it, pushing him with the rockets. That is totally his game. would not be surprised to see him doubling back a lot, pushing Reflex. Oh, and a nice snipe catching him, trying to run away. Phantasy ties it up, gets control of that 100 armor, a little bit of chip damage from that flak ball, and now he's going to be able to be aggressive. Ooh, I thought we were going to see rockets coming out underneath the belt. Sort of great force field area thing. Instead, he dives down on top of him. That's what he wants to do. If Phantasy has his way, this match is going to look a lot like, I don't know, like a Quake match, right? He's going to just be diving in his face, close range rockets, bouncing him around the walls. And if Reflex wants to try to, use shot primary to push him away, he's happy to do so. But as long as Fantasy's got the lead, it's really not going to turn into much. Reflex is going to have to choose his spots wisely. Phantasy, of course, soaking up vials, like I pointed out before. A great map for that. There's a sneaky amount of vials in some of these maps, and Lee is one of them. Everyone just kind of posturing now. The last minute or so is slowed down a bit. Pot shots at a distance. You have 15 seconds still until this belt comes up. Looks like Reflex wants to challenge it. Fantasy's there way early. He's going to try to push him away, maybe grab some vials. Oh, he stood in for that combo. Reflex didn't pop around and make him pay. He's going to use that lift to back up. Maybe just try to beat him. Oh, the belt spawns. Fantasy's going to have to double back. That will probably prevent him from challenging this 100. Oh, Reflex doesn't have timing on it. Ooh, tough spot there. Reflex, I guess he didn't know, and there's no way for him to know that Phantasy missed that lift jump. Probably expected him to be able to challenge that a little bit earlier. Actually could have taken it, so a bit of an unlucky read there by Reflex. Phantasy now 2 frag lead and absolutely in control of the map, at least in the opening minutes here. A quick look at those stats. Pretty even damage, but 2-to-1 belts, 4-to-200 armors. Phantasy just running the map right now. So I'm going to switch over to Reflex's perspective. I want to see what he's trying to do. I mean, maybe looking for an angle here. Oh, so the weapon switch to flak. He guessed properly with what Phantasy was going to do, but just didn't have the right weapon out at the right time. Wasted time during that weapon switch. So just an unlucky guess. Phantasy makes him pay, and now look at Phantasy. 172 over 189. He's basically got to kill him like 2.5 times in order to break him down here. So Reflex doing tons of damage. This is 5 shots in a row. So killing spree there by Phantasy, but Reflex actually traded a ton of damage for that. He, like I say, basically killed him, 1.5 times there. Didn't get an actual point on the board, but did reset his stack. And that may be what allows Phantasy to get back into this one, but ooh. That's a tough sniper shot right there. That's going to make him one hittable. There we go. Phantasy just running this map. If we can see why he's looked so dangerous on it. Not really relying. I mean, we've seen him push with rockets in prior matchups. He's really showing his sniping and combo ability in this one. Definitely not a one-trick pony, so to speak. Oh, but there's the rockets looking for the mid-air. Nope, waits for the ground shot. Smart play there by Phantasy. So you see, he could have gone for the mid-air shot. Would have been full damage, but it also would have been 0 if he missed. Waited for him to land. Did, I think, 40, 50 damage. Oh, there's a headshot. Looking for the spawns. Smart play by Reflex not to try to spawn right on top of him. You're not really going to take out someone who's got 150 shield off the spawn. And Phantasy, that killer instinct we talked about with some of these top players. You give them an inch and they're going to rattle off as many kills as possible and just really put their thumb down on you. That's a rampage. 10 straight kills for Phantasies. Running out in the lead. Doesn't want to give Reflex any hope here. Especially since I'm positive this is his map pick. Yeah, that's a good point. It actually wouldn't surprise me, Tierce, if Phantasy plays Demon in the grand final. Would not at all surprise me to see another Leah and in a race first couple maps. Tiebreaker would be an interesting one. Depends. It's obviously, I think it's based on map bans at that point, right? Ooh, Phantasy missing that rocket. He's clipped the edges a couple of times here. Hasn't really cost him. I am seeing reports in Discord. It looks like Znatch did take 2 maps to 1 against rookies for your 7th place match. There might actually be prize money. I talked about it as like an exhibition, but there might actually be prize money implications there. I'm not sure if they're paying out based on windows, right, of 6th and 7th, or 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th, or if it's tiebreaker matches have to be played to figure out who actually gets what place. Ooh, midair rocket. Only did 67 damage, but he's going to be in his grill. And there it is. There's a concession. Just all Phantasy right now. Significantly more damage, but look at those pickups. 5-1 belts, 10-2, 100 armors. Reflex actually had a couple opportunities in that map that I don't think he realized. A couple of missteps by Phantasy that were minor, but slight openings. But, you know, he had such comfortable footing on this map. Reflex had no openings there.
Hail to the king, baby.
All right, prediction for map number 2 going up. This will be, I believe, Reflex's pick. So we're going to be on ASDF. Reflex facing elimination. Phantasy trying to move on to the lower bracket final. And a top 3 spot guaranteed. Already top 4 guaranteed for these players. So shout out again and take this opportunity. We got ASDF here, one of the original duel maps in this game. Finally getting the mesh treatment, a pretty much finished version, right? We got lighting, we got textures, looks so much better. So shout out to all the mappers that have been working and you know, every event I feel like we have better and better maps to play on. Here we go though, it's game time, baby. Reflex and Phantasy coming in here. Getting you kicked off again. This is essentially 4th place match, if you will. Loser will take 4th. Winner will move on to lower bracket finals. Phantasy was rolling on Leah. That was his map pick. He's in pretty good position here with 135. Again, he's just a magnet for health files. Don't be surprised to see him over 100 HP most of this game. Oh, the headshot erases that armor. Reflex just getting away with a little bit on top of that. He does get back up to 100 health. Oh, and he pays back with a couple of shock primaries from across the map. He's going to be hanging out up top, looking to decide where to head. He got belt and 100 armor coming up at the same time. He's got Phantasy zoned out just a little bit. He's listening right now to decide, okay, which way is Phantasy going? He's actually going to concede that belt to grab that 100. Interesting play. He might have thought that Phantasy was more stacked than he is. So Phantasy at the time actually only had 100 HP. And yeah, no challenge on that belt by Reflex. They're showing an immense amount of respect. Oh, but there's a big combo. Knocks him into a corner. No armor left for Phantasy. This could be a big chance for Reflex. Almost got eaten alive by that combo, but instead, neither gonna hit the other one. Nice, appreciate the bits. Breaking noses, that slash night terror. Again, sorry, my bit counter thing doesn't really work like the other. It broke somehow, and I'll figure that out one day. I think I have to rebuild everything. It's another conversation for another time. This has been the tensest, so we're almost 2 minutes into this match, not a single kill. These two have been dancing around each other. And look at this. 350, 340 damage respectively. We saw Reflex earlier, right, backing off, despite having at least a 50-50 chance. The amount of respect between these two, and oh, Phantasy catches him. The snipe to rocket combo. Let's see if that opens the floodgates. Ooh, shock there. Just coming up short. The flag just missing, though. Does feed him a flat ball, so Phantasy takes some damage. Reflex down to 3 HP. It's a smart play by Phantasy. Grabs the link. Just going to go ahead and take that consistent damage to get the kill. Oh, Reflex maybe didn't want to jump down there, but takes the rising shot. Eats a rocket, though. Oh, man. These two are just dropping bombs on each other all of a sudden with what was a very calculated, methodical opening to this match. No kills in the first 2 minutes. A flurry of damage in the last minute. 2 kills on the board for Phantasy, but not what I would call stacked right now. Belt's coming up. This is going to be a big fight. Looks like Belt went to Phantasy, and another headshot on Reflex. So we talked about Phantasy's rockets on Leah, right? Close range maps. But you're seeing his other weapon skills come into play here. Some really brutal sniping at this point. Phantasy looking for the prediction combo there, trying to catch him coming across mid. Reflex going to be waiting, hiding in the background. Got a free grab of that 100 armor. That's pretty surprising. Given there was 20 seconds left till Belt, Phantasy, I don't know if he guessed wrong or if he just lost track of kind of where he was for a second, but that's a bit of an opening for Reflex. Grabs the 100, and now he can try to push him off of Belt. One snipe, looking for the other to finish him off. 60 HP, does grab the 50, but Belt's going to go to Reflex. That's a big turnaround in the last 30 seconds or so there. Ooh, big combo there. Looking for the follow-up. Nice. I don't know how Phantasy fell that fast, but somehow avoided it. Activated gravity boots. Dives into that combo. 19 HP. Phantasy on the run. I'm kind of surprised Reflex isn't chasing him down right now. Looking for that kill to get things rolling. He's opted to play kind of the map control. I think he thought he was going to head to that corner and grab 50 in health. Instead, went opposite side towards Sniper. And a little bit of a peekaboo here. Reflex going to, not eat a Sniper. Phantasy had him lined up, couldn't hit him. Gets that health. He's going to be on the run. Still only 74 HP, but 10 seconds till Belt spawns. Can't afford to give up this Belt if you're Reflex. Goes for the chase. Beautiful combo. Threaded that needle. Looking for the spawns, not going to get the easy spawn kill, so happy to grab that Belt. We're only halfway through this map, so still only a 2-point game, and with the way you can catch spawn kills on this map, that's basically nothing. And Reflex right now completely in control. He just needs to find Phantasy and start a fight at this point. Give you a quick look at the scoreboard to get an idea of the differentials here. 8 to 200 armors. And yet, despite a 300 damage deficit, Phantasy's still on top. Ooh, the turnaround. We've seen that a couple of times from Reflex. The chase down, around the corner, shock primary, trying to pull out rockets versus Flak. Oh, that Flak's dangerous. He has to be careful, and smart play there. Reflex switching to that Link. We've seen a couple of players already today. They had the opportunity to finish off kills with Link. Oh, ring around the rosy. Reflex gets the old okey doke, but he does get a free shield belt out of it. So I think he was kind of hedging his bet there. He was chasing them, but also moving towards the objective. Oh, he's taking mid-air Link damage. It's so tough to get away from. Look at that. The yoink gonna pull him right back at him. But Phantasy dives on the 100 armor. That was a genius play by Phantasy. He does go down, but takes Reflex down to 3 HP. He got yoinked, turned the corner, right back. So that was a tough spot by Phantasy. Got yoinked, had the presence of mind to head right back over to that 100 armor, grabs it, leaves Reflex with 3 HP whenever he does go down, gets the kill right back off the spawn. All of that only possible because once he got yoinked, he didn't just back away back towards that health. He dove right back over him, grabbed the armor, and did that extra damage. Looking for the peak shots here. Phantasy and Reflex Playing ring around the road, so they're both going to go for this belt. No, I think Reflex going to back off of it. Kind of surprised there. Phantasy did have the positioning. Reflex definitely doesn't want to give up any more kills. One more death, maybe the end. And if he's going to lose, he wants to lose on his terms, but he is going to be facing combos and rockets here. Oh, and there's a big kill. Was that 160 damage combo there? Phantasy now looking for the spawn kills to put it away. Nice movement through the map. Every player going to be very familiar with this map, it should be said. It's not like some of the ones we looked at before. This is, I mean, basically one of the original maps in this game, so everyone who's been dueling on it is going to be very familiar. And right now, it's just kind of a game of keep away. Oh, Reflex was trying to push him away, slide back down to that belt. That belt going to Reflex, excuse me, going to Phantasy. Not a bad, I don't know, risk there, I guess. Kind of a lottery ticket by Reflex, hoping that he could steal that belt and get away. Unfortunately, couldn't catch Reflex, or couldn't catch Phantasy diving on him, and so Reflex, unable to secure it, goes down, and I think that's probably going to do it on this map. Really on this match. So this is a really good, if you're looking for kind of textbook, fundamental duel gameplay, this is a great example of it. Phantasy's been in control of this match basically the entire time, despite having less damage, despite having at times, you know, perhaps a pickup. We'll say split pickups, even by the end of this one, right? 2 more hundreds for Reflex, 2 more belts for Phantasy. Ooh, rockets just whizzing by his head. These two at this point, I think they know this one's over. They're just going to try to get one more shot on each other. Yeah, Phantasy eats the rocket. I mean, Reflex might go for the spawn kills. You can be hyper aggressive on this map. Nice rocket there by Reflex, looking to chase him down with Link. I like that play. Eats a sniper, but does allow him to get that 100 armor. If there was another minute on the clock, actually, if he can chase him down and get this kill, he might have a chance. Oh, if he can pull within one can turn to 2 so easily on this map. He's living on the edge, though. One snipe will take him out. Phantasy knows this. Looking for that shot. Who's going to hit it? There it is. He's got one opportunity. He needs to guess right. Oh, and he just doesn't. Oh, man, that was basically a 1 in 3 or so shot there. Found himself in a position. He's like, I just need that chance to turn 1 into a coin toss. Roll the dice, shoot a rocket. How many double kills have we seen off the spawn? But came up short there. Phantasy going to come out on top. Almost an incredible comeback there. You got to be careful against some of these players, especially on those smaller maps. You may think you've got it locked down and the match wrapped up. And those closing moments, anything can happen. So you see Demon sitting up top, undefeated in the grand finals, waiting for winner now of Yi and Phantasy. So Reflex going to take 4th place. I don't know if Sass and Crytek are going to play for 5th and 6th. Anyway, Phantasy going to be outplaying his number 5 seed, already guaranteed top 3 spot. And like I said before, I would not be surprised to see either of these players back in that grand final. This is a very intriguing matchup, though, Phantasy versus Yi. So we talked about it a little bit before that Yi has only really played, we only have one other data point, that's that November Cup. So Phantasy and Yi have not played as far as matches are concerned. We have no data points for them. Oh, gotcha. So they were paying out top 7 this tournament. Okay. I was a little confused whenever I saw some of those payouts. I wasn't sure how they were doing them. So the difference between, right, you basically got, you know, top 4 come naturally in order. And then you got losers round 5, you get 5th and 6th. Losers round 4, that's 7th and 8th. So Znatch and Rookie taking 7th and 8th. Crytek and South 5th and 6th. That'll give you a Reflex at 4th. Loser of this lower bracket final will be 3rd, of course, and then winner will move on to grand final for the top 2 games. I think they're going to have some map picks and all of that going on, though, in the meantime. Gotcha. Apparently, Crytek and Sass are playing for that 5th and 6th spot. Money up for grabs there. Does anybody know what hub they're on? Are they in the Brazilian hub? There it is. Okay, yeah, in the Brazil hub. All right, we'll jump into that game then. So I'm hearing Crytek and Sass. Crytek is up 1 map to nothing. Is that what we're saying here? Oh, actually, last seconds of this one looks like Sassmaster going to win 7-5 on solo. So I think we're going to see a tiebreaker between these two. We saw when they played earlier, it was a really intriguing matchup, very similar play styles, very evenly matched. I'm guessing they're going to go back to a North American hub, so we'll try to follow them there. If Phantasy and Yi want to wait and hold off until we get this tiebreaker, we can do that. Or if they just want to pick maps and hubs and get warmed up in the meantime, we can do that. Certainly if Yi and Phantasy decide to start, just give me a heads up. Okay, so we're in the server, I believe, for Crytek and Sass should be... Okay, cool. So we're going to bring in this last tiebreaker map for this 5th and 6th place match. Mostly just because it's such a close matchup. And we saw these two play before. This will be the 3rd time that they've played now between the last cup and it was the last cup of November. Prior cup, we'll say. And then this one we saw them play a really nice match earlier. And now coming back to a tiebreaker here. Again, this is before today, so they're actually 1-1 at this point. Exactly 3 maps apiece if you include today's tournament and their earlier match. All right, predictions up, y'all. Chat can join in, and it's game time, baby. Con X5 bringing you some bonus coverage here. Your 5th versus 6th place match. You see the StatCat tracking. These two are actually dead even if you count today's tournament. Like we said, they have taken 3 maps apiece off of each other. So this will determine some money and as well as a differential because they're one match each in this tournament or in this matchup. So I guess that's actually 4 maps each. Counting this matchup, there's a close range flak by Crytek taking him out. Curious what Sass does here. He's going to be stuck kind of down low underneath him. Let's move back over to Crytek's perspective. Oh, misses the drop shot and just... Oh, he almost kissed that rocket. Sass right there. I don't know if he was a little tilted. He sort of stood still for a while. That rocket looked like it almost smacked him down in midair. Sass now going to be on the run. Does grab health in that 100 armor. Eats a sniper. And this is one where I could definitely see both players, again, playing kind of a similar play style. Oh, up the jump pad. That's going to be a dangerous play. Was that a crater? Oh, he did. He shocked him into the wall and then made him fall just far enough to get the crater damage. I think that's the first crater we've seen all tournament. Crytek right now on a run, on a roll. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I'll give you a look at the scoreboard. One big prediction combo. So a great example right there of using shock balls for area denial, just pushing him away. I wanted to give you a chance to keep an idea about that, or keep an eye on that scoreboard. Huge damage differential already. Really, I mean, just look at that. 175 over 150. Crytek just firmly in control right now. So Sass did finally land a couple of shots there. That could be key if he wants any chance of coming back. Big flak ball there. Needs to hit one more shot. Oh, didn't quite have enough damage there. 2 HP. Can finish him off with an enforcer here, though. Or rockets. That'll do as well. But, oh, only sends him packing. He's able to get back to the health. Sass going to be extra aggressive. Going all in. Close range rockets. Crytek kills him while damaging himself. It's a tough break there. Yeah, and Crytek right there, you saw the chase down with that shock. I mean, just not giving Sassmaster any kind of room to operate. And Sass, for his part, I mean, given his methodical playstyle, it's really hard for him, I think, to counter this type of scenario. Obviously, he can play against Crytek very well. Again, they're 4 maps apiece total in cups leading up to this one. 1 match each, dead evenly drawn. But right now, in this particular match, this particular map, Crytek just dominating. I'm not really sure what Sassmaster is going to be able to come up with here because I just don't think his playstyle lends itself to going on one of these hyper-aggressive pushes that he's going to need. But, I mean, we'll find out. We're not even halfway through this one. Plenty of time left. There's that first kill, breaking the seal. What can he do from here now? He's going to have to be able to chain together some spawn kills if he wants any chance. Building his own count back into this one. Down 8 at this point. Oh, 2 big rockets. You saw 95 damage on that one. Almost a full direct hit. One more shot will do it. Up 7 now. Oh, you saw the prediction. Hoping it would go up top. He actually guessed right the second time. 99 damage. I think he thought he was going to be there 2 steps earlier. Trying to catch him peeking. There's the shot he wanted. Sassmaster right now playing his game. So can keep this pace up, right? The chasing down, the peekaboo, the long range. We know Crytek can try to answer that, but this is, I think, much more in the comfort zone of Sassmaster. I like that rocket. He basically denied that counter stance. Ooh, but I think maybe took a little bit of self-damage. A little confused. Take a quick look at the scoreboard. You see ping's not ideal for either player, but they know this. This has been the case through all their matches. There's the reflect. Ooh, the reaction rocket, rather. Bouncing him off the wall, hitting him with the splash damage. Nice, consistent reactions there once he had him in view. Only a 6 frag lead now, so Sassmaster being very patient here. Here's another one on a killing spree of his own. We did see a... Ooh, giving up the 100... Oh, and he misses that jump. I don't think that's going to cost him too much because Belt is up. Could have grabbed 100 as well as Belt. Smart play by Crytek, hearing that he grabbed Belt. Going to sneak over to that 100. And there's some rocket ammo. I think that's what that move was about. Getting up top, trying to face him down toe-to-toe. Rockets back and forth again. And comes to Sniper. Ooh, I think that weapon switch cost Sassmaster a shot. He's going to answer back. He needs to get back to some health. You see that Piston coming out, trying to defend himself. Oh, just misses Crytek. And Crytek answers back and gets the kill. That was a huge exchange right there. 2 quick snipes by Crytek. Just barely dodged that snipe. Gives him the 100 armor. And now, if he can get a couple of kills in a row here, turn on the aggression again, he can ice this one. Lock up a 5th place finish. Oh, nice back and forth, the ping pong. Pinball snipes, and looking for now that 100 armor that I think, you know, it's hard to say on this map. You can rattle off so many kills in a row on this map. You never really feel like you've won or lost the map unless it's just you get into double digits and you feel like maybe that's the point. But 2.5 minutes to go. You don't want to presume anything if you're Crytek here. Crytek gonna move around up top, looking for those vials. I think he was hoping to stack up even more. There's one snipe, and this is Sassmaster again, just buzzing around, taking pot shot after pot shot. But with 2 minutes to go, I mean, he really can't afford to play that. That's definitely his playstyle. He wants to do that. But that early lead that Crytek built really means that when you get towards the end of the game, when you're 2-3 minutes left, if you're down by 7, yeah, you kind of have to change playstyle. You have to be more aggressive. Oh, he misses that combo, gives up the belt. That was a huge misplay there by Crytek. Down to 12 HP. Sassmaster has an opening. There's still not much time at all left on the clock. Does get 1 kill, though. Can he find him off the spawn? He has to. Nice spawn by Crytek. Takes his time, spawns way across the map over by Flak. He won't have any real weapons at his disposal, though, other than that Flak cannon now. 50 armor gets denied. He's throwing rockets around. Hits him a little bit. Knocks him down with that rocket. He'll have a chance to get him. There it is. Still 13 seconds till the 100 armor spawns. Crytek being very, very smart with his spawns. He knows he just has to burn clock at this point. Sass is going to grab that 100 armor so he can be extra aggressive. 5 kills in a minute, though. Going to be very difficult to put together. Going up top. Crytek should have heard him go up there. He does. You see him throw a combo that way. Sass has to pick basically just a 50-50 at this point. What direction is he going? You see him just trying to look and listen. Oh, and Crytek jukes him up top. I think that'll do it with only 35 seconds left to go. You see him fishing with those rocket grenades, but I think it's going to be a little too late. Crytek catches him with a combo, and that should be, yep, his belt and probably GG's. I think they might play this one out, but Crytek gonna finish. You see another very close damage differential between these two. So 5th and 6th, again, big time tournaments for both of those guys. So head back over to the bracket real quick while we wait for lower bracket final to come up. That was 5th and 6th place match. You saw that's number 8, number 9 seed, Crytek and Sass. So both really nice showings from each of them in this tournament. They had both kind of outplayed their expectations in prior tournaments in order to get this seed, and then both outplaying this seed. I mean, 5th and 6th from 8th and 9th. Nice jump there, especially in a field as stacked as this. They're going to get some money for their trouble as well. Reflex finishing 4th. We saw that game versus Phantasy earlier. Now we've got Yi versus Phantasy getting down to the last 2 matches, y'all. Yi and Phantasy, lower bracket final. Loser will take 3rd. Winner will face Demon in the grand final. Hey, my dad hit the 6-month sub mark. I think that gives you a new badge as well, a new chat badge. Yeah, Dimco, that I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty proud of that Malcolm Mario amp block break emote that I drew. But if we're gonna be doing mostly Duel these days, Duel doesn't have amp. I haven't had a chance to even really use it. We need to do some more like TDM, CTF, something with amp, like elimination, no amp. Duel, no amp. Instagive, no amp. Yeah, I mean, nobody at this point has had an easy road in this tournament. You're looking like lower brackets, rounds 3 and 4, right? I mean, Crytek had to beat Snatch to get into that game. Lost to Reflex 2-1, right? A couple of, in fact, three sets in a row that went to tiebreaker maps, right? Crytek beating Snatch in 3, Crytek losing to Reflex in 3, Crytek beating Sass in 3. Living on the edge, but really nice showing by Crytek and Sass. I mean, like I said in chat, I mean, took out Rookie and Lavak. Certainly en route. I mean, we saw him in the very first round, right? Taking on Crytek and losing. Coming back and Crytek finally getting one over. 1 map advantage now in this series between Crytek and Sass. Always fun to see those kinds of grudge matches, if you will. So another one coming up that's a little bit intriguing, right? Yi versus Phantasy. We talked about it a little bit before. Neither one playing each other in prior tournaments. Yi's only prior tournament was in November. I believe Phantasy lost to Demon twice in that one, if I'm not mistaken. So no prior history between these two as far as official matches are concerned. Curious how that affects things like map picks. Okay, looks like we're up in Chicago. We're going to head over there now. I mean, honestly, if I'm Phantasy, I think I'm picking maps similarly to how I would pick against... DC, what's up, man? Appreciate the sub, sir. One of the... Yeah, 22 months. I think the longest subber that I've ever had. That's basically when I became... what is it? The thing that's not a partner. Associate? I'm a Twitch associate. I'm a junior Twitcher. Oh, we're going to Mythic. Okay, interesting. I was gonna say I was expecting to see something like Leah from Phantasy, you know, maybe a race from Yi. Maybe Yi saw the way that Phantasy played a race against Demon and nixed that idea. Not really sure.
Hail to the king, baby.
All right, prediction is up and is live. Looks like players are ready, so we'll be getting this one kicked off soon. All right, players are ready. Here comes your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Connect 5. Jumping into the lower bracket finals. Yi versus Phantasy. These two already locking up a top 3 finish in this very, very stacked bracket. Looking for a spot in the grand finals. Mythic for the first time on stream today will be really interesting to see. I'm not sure whose map pick it is. I'd be very curious. Yi with the second death, actually going down early against Phantasy with the snipe coming out, makes you wonder if Phantasy knows. You know, I guess this was Fantasy's map pick, right? He was no, he was a lower seed. So would this have been Yi's map pick? So you wonder, right? Is this a practice thing where they know who had their strength on it? Is it just a favored map thing? We haven't seen a whole lot of players picking Mythic because they're just less comfortable, less confident on it. Phantasy right now up 3-0, looking really confident. Oh, I see. Lower seed first map pick. Okay, so this was Phant's map pick. Interesting. It's interesting to me that he would pick this map against Yi and not against anyone else. I think the way Phant's been playing Leah has been really effective largely. But certainly the way he's been playing this map effective as well. Maybe it's a matchup thing, right? These players, want to show you again that StatCat coming out. StatCat lying to us. They're actually 0-0. I'll fix that in between maps. But yeah, no real data from an official match perspective, but these two have definitely played against each other offline, right? Or I should say, you know, outside of official tournaments. That's a killing spree by Phantasy, jumping out into the lead early. Another belt under his belt, so he's got 202 belts compared to just 100 for Yi. Well in control, double the damage already. Plenty of time still for Yi. This is a map you can kind of get. If you know the map well enough, you can close the gap quickly. If you don't know the map, if you're not super comfortable with it, it can feel like it's much bigger than it is. And that may be the situation Yi's in. I'm not sure how much he's played, how familiar, comfortable, how much he even likes the map, right? That can come into play. The mental game if someone's like, oh man, I hate that map. It sucks. It should be out of the game. Nobody should have ever used it. Yeah, it can hurt you. Ooh, with the push, had an angle on him, decides to back up and soak up more vials. He has eyes in the back of his head for these vials. I know I keep mentioning it, but it's definitely a differentiator. Whenever you can come into a fight with 30, 40 extra HP, I mean, that's the difference, right? How many times do we see players get away with that much life left, jump over to an armor and some health, and all of a sudden they're stacked again? Ooh, the mid-air shock juggle. A little bit late, though. Yi able to out-damage him there. Finally gets on the board. Still plenty of time left, and we're only 3.5 minutes into this one. Oh, and the headshot by Yi. Shooting his way back into it. The follow-up gets the kill. He's got 10 seconds till 100 armor. Looking for that straight-up aiming, just kind of denying him that 100 room. Belt's going to be up in 2 seconds, though, and I don't know what Yi's plan is here to try to get across. Great rockets there by Phantasy. Again, area denial. I'm not sure if Yi maybe was just happy to scoop up that 100 while he could. Maybe try to make it up with vials like that, or you know, he's going to get the 50. If he hits one shot on Phantasy, he's closed that gap that Phantasy got by getting the belt instead of the 100. There's a couple shots that'll erase that difference. Close range rockets versus rockets. You figured this would typically benefit Phantasy, this type of fight. But 100 does go to Yi, so he's going to have a bit more of an advantage. Looking to catch him. Going to small armor. Up close with the rockets. Damages himself a little bit, but does get the kill on Phantasy. Pulling within 2 now, just about halfway through this one. Ooh, Rocket just, I mean, he did about 45 damage, but almost nailed him with it. Basically the equivalent of a shock primary there. Hit him with a couple of more. Phantasy paying for that. Ugh, now walking his way up that dirty, slimy, kind of looks like a, I don't know, like a dragon's tongue. Makes me squirm a little bit every time they run up that thing. Kind of reminds, it's like a Shawshank Redemption scene, right? Anyway, climbs up it, looking for that angle in the small armor. These two, I think he's really getting a feel for how Phantasy is moving back and forth across this map. He's cutting him off. He's setting up some shots like this. Now, in this case, he guesses wrong. But that's okay. That's just the Caster's Curse in play. And you see that damage differential right back up. In fact, dead even now. Oh, and the headshot. He's going to take that damage lead with it. Not going to get the kill, but Phantasy down to 37 HP. If you can close that gap with a link gun, you finish him off very quickly. So Phantasy getting back up to 100 armor, almost 100 HP. He unable to capitalize on that headshot. He kind of gained a little bit of positioning, you might say, but oh, that close range flak, that's going to take him down to 100 HP, no armor. Phantasy taking some damage himself. I think Yi wants to avoid giving him any more kills, going to try to grab this 100, and maybe he'll engage after that. Phantasy a little late to the party. He's going to give up the power up. Oh, he can't get up top. Might have been for the best for Yi. He gets chased down, baits Phantasy into the shock primary. And Phantasy now really wants to get this kill, but at what cost? Okay, he does answer right back. So back to a 2-frag lead. He's looking, yeah, all right. 105 health, 25 armor, but still very vulnerable here. This belt could be the match. Or I should say at least map 1, rather. Oh, Phantasy going all in, just standing on there. Yi can't shoot him through, and he rockets himself in the face. A bit of a Three Stooges exchange there as Phantasy standing still, just parrying those sniper shots with that piston, and then decides to rocket himself in the face for good measure. Oh, big shot there. You're going to be turned away surely by that sniper. Phantasy now hanging on, clinging to that 2-frag lead. He hasn't really been in control fully since the opening moments when he went on that run. Had a big advantage early. He's shot his way back into it. We'll go see his perspective. See him looking over that poop tongue, hoping Phantasy will peek his head out so he can eat a combo. Said he's going to cut him off with rockets at that belt. Belt spawns now. Fantasy's going to concede it. Maybe try to cut him off. Sliding up the poop chute. Yi looking behind him. It's basically becoming a game of like ring around the rosy here. Just looking for that cutoff. Looking for that combo and that free damage. If you can get a couple hundred points of free damage like that. Actually, Phantasy could go down to 1 combo. Yi maybe as well. Oh, and the rockets and the sniping coming from along the way. Yi all the way down to 28 HP. Phantasy going to be on the run. I'm surprised. Oh, he finishes him off with a rocket. I was like surprised he didn't pull out the link there. But yeah, that's all it took. A minute and a half to go, and Yi just couldn't find his footing in the second half. We saw that turnaround. There was a moment there a few minutes ago when Yi was in control and just Phantasy just stood on the belt, just stood there with his piston out. I don't know if he parried 2 sniper shots in a row or if he just missed them, but it was all it took, right? He was able to grab that shield belt, get away, and made Yi pay, taking map 1 here on Mythic, which again looks like it was Phantasy's map pick since he was a lower seed. And we'll see what Yi has for us next.
King, baby.
All right, we are coming in hot. Players are already readied up. Looks like we've got a race map 2. Prediction is up. Get your predictions in ASAP. And here comes your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Connex 5 bringing you map 2. Lower bracket final. We got Yi versus Phantasy. Yi hanging on in map 1 on Mythic. Ooh, taking the early lead here on Erase. I think this has got to be a matter. We saw the conversation in chat. This has got to be a matter of Yi choosing his strength as opposed to trying to find a weakness for Phantasi. Normally, I would say that this would be probably a beneficial matchup for Yi, and it might still be. But Phantasi really looked good on this map earlier today in the tournament. Oh, the rocket straight up the bunghole. Another one. Nice rocket there. 63 damage up the lift. If he can chase him down, he can get a kill. Doesn't really have a finisher weapon. Might be time to pull out the Enforcer. He's going to back off. He's got a link gun now, so if he can start a fight, can he get in on him? He's going to go straight at him with the link gun. Parries a little bit of that damage. You're going to be happy to just grab that belt, try to push him off of that 100 armor. It will be behind him. So Yi is between his opponent and that pickup. He can kind of play this however he wants to. He can hang around the top of the map. Oh, he hears him going up that lift. He actually guessed wrong at first. Slight missed time on that shot, but was a pretty free shot. Really not much risk in taking it. Oh, close range rockets, and Yi's going to take himself out and erase that point off the board. Oh, you hate to see that. It's just demoralizing. Yi did everything right there, except he decided to go push him there instead of maybe trying to get the cutoff, maybe try to keep his distance. Ooh, 2 Stinger alt fires. Those are sneaky high damage. I think they're, what, 30 damage apiece? Have a little bit of AoE around them. $100 armor coming up. Damage on both players. Give you a quick look at the scoreboard through the opening moments. A little bit more damage for Phantasi. A little bit more armor picked up by Yi. Definitely a much more even and slower start to this one. I think Yi maybe got overwhelmed a little bit at the beginning at Mythic. He took control back. He tried to fight his way back in. Phantasi ultimately hung on. And now a lot more of a chess match going on. The turnaround. The 180 combo. That was all reaction right there. Phantasi flashes him with it. He does give up the 100 armor though, so dead even between these two. Huge combo by Phantasi. That's going to turn him away, allow him to get that 50 untouched. And even if they don't get into a huge fight, well, actually, right as I say that, looks like they're going to commit to it. Both players going in, 52 HP apiece. Big shots back and forth. Yi comes out ahead, trying to knock him. Doesn't want him to take that spawn by Sniper. 100 and belts both spawn soon. I think Yi's maybe going to have to give up belt there. Yeah, Phantasi just daring him. Oh, he's missing that jump. That could put him a step behind. Will that give Phantasi a shot on him? Doesn't look like it, so we do still have that armor grab. There was a little bit of a delay, so keep that in mind. Ooh, maybe some lag. We have seen Yi's internet be a little bit inconsistent, jumping a little bit up to 52 ping there for a second. Hopefully not a factor in this match. Oh, Shock Primary is coming out. Yi right now on fire with the juggling. He knows he hears him above him, just listening for those audio cues. Oh, he had him lined up. That's exactly what he wanted. Gives up the 100. Can he dive in? He doesn't have any link ammo. No, now he does. Maybe if he can cut him off, he can link him down. He's still got 70 armor. There is so much respect between these two players. They're really playing carefully. Neither one wanted to give up any free damage and overcommit. That was actually a pretty big risk right there by Yi. Diving forward just pressures him right off of that belt. Again, StatCat coming in. These two, no official matches between them up to this point. So this will be a first data point that we're looking at. Yi, nice job there. Kind of, you know, what I'm noticing by Yi, oh, there's another headshot coming up big. We've seen Phantasi come up huge with headshots earlier today. Yi with one there. In a 2-1 game, a headshot is just crucial. It's such a giant spike in damage. Really sends him packing. The answer, though, by Phantasi with that shock primary, that's going to even things out. A little bit extra armor for Phantasi. We still have 15 seconds till this belt spawns. I'm kind of surprised. Yeah, Yi might want to get in position for this 100, and then he can pressure that belt. The way that the timing, the delay, whenever he kind of stepped forward and stepped back on that 100 armor earlier in the match, has made it so that you can actually make it from one to the other Little bit of flak damage, not much. Dodging those rockets. Phantasy's so dangerous with those prediction rockets, of course. Oh, the peak. Oh, the peak shot right there. Phantasy actually guessed wrong. Then threw another shock ball over, pushed him away. And into each other in mid. Another opportunity for a combo goes just to the side. He was still clinging to that one frag lead. Maybe that's why he's been so happy to kind of play the slow game, not wanting to commit to anything, not take any risks. Phantasy just waiting for an opportunity. Slowly getting more and more stacked. One big shot can tie it up. Oh, there's the anti-combo. That'll clear the board. We're back at 2 apiece. Phantasy in control now, trying to turn 1 into 2 and take the lead. Probably hears him below him. Ooh, dangerous. Just dodged that rocket. Belt's up now. He's not going to be able to touch it. He is delaying that 100. I don't know if he did it on purpose, but once again, whoever grabs Belt will be able in the next cycle to head back over to that 100 unless it gets delayed further. Ooh, nice rocket by Phant, just barely missing. Eats a sniper up top, it looked like. There's the stinger coming down. Can he shoot his way out of this situation? He's on the run, 14 HP. Ooh, will Yi pull out the stinger again? Looks like he's got shock rifle out. And kind of an interesting decision there. Yi had him on the ropes, had him under 20 HP. Not willing to go all in there and risk it, but remember, it was a tie game. He's not nursing a lead anymore. At some point, he might have to take a chance. He's got him down to 43 now. One shot primary will kill him. He's got that belt. He's going to get out and not try to give him any opportunities to rocket him, but he needs to get a point here, right? He can't just survive. He can't just try not to lose. He has to try to convert one of these big hitters into frags. 8 HP on Phant. One sniper would get a kill. Oh, Yi playing just so patiently right now, but it's almost maddening to watch. He's just flirting with them. Oh, here's the corner, close range. Phantasy can't even get off the rocket. Actually, if Phantasy shot a rocket there, he probably kills himself in the process. Now, Phant trying to escape. He can't get to that 100 armor. He's going to circle around. Maybe look to grab that 50. He still needs health, though. Only 55 for Phantasy. There's down to 31. This could be Yi's opportunity, and Phant slides away, but he hasn't pinned in that corner back there. Phant has to go left or right. Oh, but Yi guesses wrong. He doesn't realize he's below him. In Phantasy, dangerous play. So he tried to slide underneath there and get down to that belt, but he crossed right in front of Yi's line of sight, gave him that kill. Now this lead that Phantasy's earned, and look at that stack, 170 over 150. Didn't give up anything for that kill. That's going to put Yi right into the driver's seat now to try to take map 2. Oh, rockets coming in. He, though, with 185 HP. Something we're honestly used to seeing Phantasy doing. Oh, he sneaks up behind him with the rocket. Phantasy thought about charging him with the Link. 16 HP versus 92 would not have been the right call. But he does pressure him off of that 100 armor, so pretty interesting play by Phantasy trying to fight his way back in. We'll go to see his perspective. He knows time is running out. No health up. Belt's up now. This is Phantasy's opportunity. He's got plenty of resources now. Doesn't have a sniper or shock. He's going to have to close that gap if he wants to actually get any damage on him. He's got a little bit of stinger damage on him. Sniper's his. He's going to have to hit a couple of key shots here. 100 armor does go to Yi. Here we go. Showdown at the 100 armor corner. Oh, he really wanted that snipe right there. He wanted it so bad. That rocket missed, but he gets the follow-up snipe, but he's going to have to dive at him. He's going to make him pay, and I think that's going to do it. Ooh. You saw the smiley on that flak ball, just barely missed, but Yi right now, no reason to push. He can play as slow as he wants to here and just run out the time. 3 frag lead, that should do it. The concession there by Phantasy. Almost fought his way back in, but just couldn't quite get that extra shot here or there. So, you know, in comparison, I think we saw a game on a race earlier today that had, 29 kills between the two this time. 5 versus 2. It was a total chess match. I mean, neither player wanting to push too hard. One more 100, one more belt for Yi. You know, a few hundred more damage. It really just came down to a couple of key shots. I mean, you saw a few more frags come at the end there for Yi when Phantasy had to push. Otherwise, dead even. Well played by both. Deep now being the tiebreaker. This is an interesting one. All right, looks like we're going to be on deep. Really interesting. We've seen Phantasy play this a few times. I've never seen Yi play this. Again, very few data points for Yi from prior cups. So here we go. We're going to kick it off. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it's game time, baby. Connex 5 jumping in. Tiebreaker here in the lower bracket final. Can't get any better than this. Phantasy versus Yi. Seen them trade maps on Mythic. And then Yi just running a race very methodically. Phantasy with the push. Link versus Link. Huge damage with that combo. You see Yi over here. He's going to try to catch him in the middle. Phantasy knew. So Phantasy there knew he didn't have to pick up health. Yi figured he did. Tried to cut him off, and another kill. Phantasy just like that in 30 seconds up 3-0. Massive opening to this map. Sniper there by Phantasy coming across mid. So far, much of the damage on this map has come from these guys cutting each other off in mid. You do see that a lot of times after a fight, because you do have those 2 health bubbles in mid, but in this case, pure prediction. You do have Belt coming up in 2 seconds, 100 armor across the map at the same time. Phantasy delaying Belt just a few seconds, just to throw Yi off. You see all these grates in the map. You can shoot up and down. You can drop shot combos, flat balls, etc. through them. 2 players that are really good at this map can make it look really, really complex. And just with all the traps you can set, baiting people to chase you, baiting people to go above you, taking them out essentially through the floor. Close range flak. Oh, gets turned into a long range. So that's an interesting move by Phantasy. He was diving over to that 100 armor, but he had flak out versus shot close range. Probably an advantage to Phantasy there, but he opted to go for the power-up and gave him a free shot. He's going to try to make him pay with the chase down. But head over to Yi's perspective. You see Phantasy diving into mid, grabbing those health bubbles. And that's why people often get cut off there. Actually, we're going to stay with Phantasy as he's staying on the high ground, trying to escape. Heading over, oh, looking for the combo there. That would have been an amazing combo. Does get 2 primaries on him. That'll send Yi packing. Those mid health bubbles are not up. He actually doesn't really need health so much as armor. Still a bit of a delay, so whoever gets these belts is going to be able to put pressure on the 100 armors in the future. A couple of rocket juggles going to push Phantasy away. No, he's going to go for the kill, gets 76 damage, looking for the finisher, and he pays for it. He catches him chasing with that sniper. You saw that combo down through the grate. Ooh, just misses that shot. Yi way ahead of this 100 armor, so you saw it got delayed earlier. I'm not sure if, I mean, he had to know, he picked it up before. I'm guessing maybe he just lost timing of it, kind of fell back in his default timings. I'm not quite sure. But now you got Belt up in 7 seconds, 100 up in 15. If Phantasy grabs that Belt, he can push him, he can bully him completely off of that 100. There you go, 150 armor coming from that shield belt. He's going to slide over. I think he's crouching right now to stop from making noise. He's going to bait him. Trying to make noise to make him think he's grabbing sniper. You see him lining up right now, maybe looking for a free shot, and there it is. So Yi grabs the 100, but immediately loses half it. That's going to set up a fight where Phantasy knows he has no more than 50-ish armor. Catches him going for the low armor. Oh, Phantasy had that combo lined up. Couldn't quite detonate. He's looking a little bit off right now with those combos. Missing a few in a row there. Sometimes that can frustrate someone. I mean, I think someone who's as experienced as Phantasy probably going to play through it fine. You can start to sort of, you know, think yourself out of a game if you think your aim is off, but follows it up right there. Good damage. Both players actually hitting shots. Pretty even with stacks. Of course, Phantasy right now with the 3-1 lead doesn't necessarily need to push. Dead even on damage between the two. That combo is going to put E over the top. Phantasy answers right back. Wanted that second snipe so bad. That would have killed Yi and gotten him a belt. Big combo, though. This is exactly what we saw Phantasy doing to Demon, though. Whenever he's loses the upper hand, you know, has a disadvantage in a situation. Baiting him into snipers, baiting him into combos. Yi now down to 8 HP. Phantasy going to be able to potentially finish him off here. Oh, catches him going up. Nice patient play there. He didn't try to push and hit a difficult shot over the edge. Just waited for him to fly in the air. Then you're just playing duck hunt at that point. And you're sliding up a dodge ramp or you know, up a lift jump like we've seen in other maps. Again, to give you some advanced stat cat tracking. Really, it's the lack of tracking. We have no data points between these two before this tournament, so really intriguing matchup here on this tiebreaker map. Yeah, you see chat mentioning it. Really nice movement. This is a map that's kind of a jungle gym. Lots of, you know, lift dodging, lots of wall running. It was really built for this kind of, or I should say it was tweaked. It was originally a port, but it was tweaked for the movement in this game. Oh, you see that combo up through the bottom, just coming up empty. Close range rockets, 123 damage. That's big, big shot there by Phantasy. And a follow-up. One more snipe can do it. Got exactly the shot he wanted. Tried to flick it a little bit, though. Not really setting up for that shot as consistently. Getting a little bit sloppy, perhaps, with that particular shot. Nice follow-up, though. One more. Oh, brings out the stinger. Ooh, just missing that when you saw Phantasy. You saw what he wanted. He's been able to keep Yi on the run with these sniper shots, but hasn't been able to hit the one to finish. He just dives at him and pulls out rockets. I think Phantasy got tired of messing around. It's like, you know what? I've been missing the final shot with the sniper 3-4 times in a row. Let me just dive at you, throw a rocket at your feet, erase you. Down under 4 minutes to go now, and Phantasy in the driver's seat. This is not as easy a map as some of the others to rattle off 3, 4, 5 kills in a row. So if you're Yi, you have to start paying attention to that clock. Oh, missing the rocket that could have finished him off. Bounces him up in the air and misses the easy shot and hits the wide, excuse me, the falling backwards combo. He misses the wide open shot. Hits probably the hardest combo that I've seen him hit so far in this matchup. Highlight reel moment there for Phantasy. Really going to put him in great position now to finish this one off. I think he jumped off the back of the map there. I don't know if he did that on purpose. High ground there. Nice job throwing that rocket behind him. Combo behind him. He's just giving Yi no angles to attack. Just creating a wall of damage behind him. He's going to give up that belt. He's going to be on the run now, trying to track him down. 6-0 with under 3 minutes to go. So very, very difficult on this map, but Yi's certainly not giving up. Facing elimination at this point. Remember, winner goes on to grand finals against Demon. User will still get third place and a good chunk of change on top of that. Oh, looking for the midair rocket. You saw the sniper there, guessing left, right, left, right. Finally snaps over and hits it. Phantasy down to 31 HP. Could go down here, smacks him down with the rocket. Can he find him off the spawn? He's still perfectly fine on health. No armors for about 5 more seconds. He can make his way over to 100. You figure Phantasy doesn't need to challenge it. Ooh, missing that rocket was big. Guess left, Phantasy was right. And he actually rockets himself. I think we've seen that a couple of times this map. So, all right, down under 2 minutes to go. Looks like Phantasy well on his way to the grand final. There's that. There's the concession. Well played by Phantasy. I mean, I think it really comes down to map picks, right? And this is where a lot of the strategy comes into play. I'm curious how the map bans went. Yeah, I mean, the conversation in chat was going on. Do you pick to your strengths? Do you pick to your opponent's weaknesses? These guys have definitely practiced against each other. They might have drawn dead even. You know, who knows who had the advantage in their practice games. Phantasy's certainly looking stronger here today, and he will earn himself guaranteed top 2 finish. He'll be taking on Demon in the grand finals here coming up next. So Yi living up, I mean, perfect seeding, right? Yi was number 3 seed. A 3-map matchup. It ended up ultimately losing out to Phantasy. Phantasy, number 5 seed. But given the prior cups, his only losses have come to Demon. In fact, that's also the case today. So was not entirely surprising to see him back in these grand finals. This would be another classic matchup, though. All right, so we're going to give them a minute. I'm actually going to take just a quick water break here while we're building. We got grand finals coming up next, Demon versus Phantasy. I'm going to grab, like I say, another drink, and we'll be ready to go here in just a couple minutes. So stick around, won't be long. Again, this cup has just been blazing fast. We're about 2 hours in or so on my stream. You had Deucit casting it earlier, the early matches. So really shout out to the players and the admin for keeping it running smoothly. But again, I'm going to take a quick break. Grand finals coming up next. All right, and we are back. Smurgle, shout out there. I saw you jumped in with that Prime sub a few minutes ago. Appreciate that. San, I saw you say that you sent a donation. It might have been if you send something and you like don't tell it to share it or whatever, it like doesn't show notifications. So I've seen that happen a couple of times. I think they might have changed the way that it looks in their system. So keep that in mind. Whenever you send any kind of anything, there's like a pop-up box where you have to click it that like allows it to share. It's kind of weird. That happened whenever I subbed to Dusik earlier today, and it was a new one for me. So just keep that in mind that sometimes if you send something through, it might not pop up unless you tell it that you wanted to share it. So just be aware. One-on-one Halo sound. So I hate the combat in Halo. I hate the loadouts. I hate regenerating health. I mean, it's all built to be played with controllers. I mean, all of those decisions make total sense for controllers. But Halo does a lot of things really well that I wish other PC, like real high-speed FPS developers would steal. Things like visibility, like different, mixing up game modes. I mean, I'll have this conversation forever philosophically. But yeah, 1v1 does not sound like a good time there. Okay, it looks like they're on Chicago. All right, Demon versus Phantasy. Let's get into this one. Give you a quick look at the brackets one more time to see how we got here. All right, so we're doing best of 5 with a 1 map advantage to Demon since he's coming from the upper bracket. So keep that in mind. So basically, Demon has to win 2 maps to be the champion. Phantasy has to win 3. Oh, we are getting kicked off. All right, we are live with your grand finals. Demon versus Phantasy. I mean, we've already had a classic matchup between these two earlier today. It was just a repeat of a classic match between them in the last tournament that they faced each other. Demon did come out on top both times, but Phantasy's definitely given him the most realistic challenge. All right, there we go, guys. I got prediction up for chat. We've already seen 3 quick kills. So sorry for not really commentating on that, but Demon and Phantasy going right at each other. I think that probably benefits Demon. I think Phantasy, I don't know. It's a tough call because Phantasy can make him uncomfortable if he can get into his face. If you have an aggressive game where Phantasy can physically be in his face and make it close range, I think he has the advantage. It's difficult to do on this map. Oh, you see the rocket off the ceiling. Nice play there by Phantasy. Getting the follow-up mid-air rocket. Can he do it again? Always looking for the highlight. Really doesn't have any other weapons, though. He has a shock rifle. He would have been able to smack him down. 1 rocket away from a frag video kill, but... Oh, nice Enforcer play right there. He has a shock rifle, but Demon... We've seen Demon using that stinger more than anyone else in this tournament. Mid-air rocket by Demon to answer right back. And there's the Stinger alt fire. If nothing else, it's just annoying. I think that's the first Stinger versus Stinger duel I've ever seen in Duel. Ooh, Sniper versus Sniper. It's gonna be tough to overcome. I mean, Phantasy's a really good sniper, but I don't think that's his competitive advantage against Demon's skill set. Right as I say that, Caster's cursed myself there. And I see right back into this one. Oh, the rockets just missed. Did get him on the follow-up, but man, that would have been huge, but gets him with the sniper. Phantasy right now just predicting perfectly, shooting his way back into it. But he's stuck out in the open. This is not where he wants to be. They trade shots. Demon's down to 12 HP. Is Phantasy going to find him off the spawn? He does with the Enforcer. Brutal chase down. Demon gonna spawn rockets. You wonder if Demon actually is strategizing to try to deny rockets. He saw him pick up rockets, ignore shock. Headshot though by Phantasy. Showing the versatility here. We're no longer at a point where some of these players have one or two good weapons and everything else is merely okay. These guys have very well-rounded skill sets. Oh, nice rocket juggles by Demon. Again, I talked about competitive advantage, like relative skill sets. I stand by that, but that's not to say that Demon can't answer right back with rockets and flak at his own close range. I just think that his relative advantage is going to be the mid to long range, the shock sniper dueling, and then jumping in to finish him off with Stinger or Link. And maybe that's part of why we've seen so much Stinger out of him, because he can keep that distance even more with that infinite range, you know, hit scan Stinger. Oh, Link coming out from Phantasy, trying to answer back. But again, Stinger, if you back up, you get out of range of that Link. Oh, mid-air snipe by Phantasy. Maybe saved him there, so Demon couldn't go all in with that Stinger. He's going to dive right at him. Link versus Stinger. Gets that extra ticket damage, and Phantasy really won that fight before it began. You see him getting away with plenty of extra health and armor. Looking for the follow-up rocket. Eats a flak, though. Nice reaction by Demon, so maybe can chase him down if nothing else. Stims, ooh, the aggression. That's going to be a trade. The reactions here with the double snipe by Phantasy. Demon knew exactly where he was going, had the Link on him, still able to concentrate and aim through that disruption. These two are just going at each other right now, and the ability to react, to come off this spawn and know exactly where you want to go, it's very hard to teach. Something you have to learn by playing. Keep in mind, while all of this is happening, they're also timing power-ups. They're also, you know, keeping track of their health and their opponent's health. There's a lot of calculations going on in these guys' heads right now, as well as trying to concentrate on what's going on in the combat scenario. Demon, though, right now, able to push up to a 4-frag lead. Ooh, nice snipe right through the middle of the map. It's going to give him a 5-frag lead at the halfway point, and pretty good control of the map. I like that dodge up there to get off of that dodge ramp quickly. 135 over 150, and Demon right now exactly where he wants to be. So I think I actually misspoke earlier. Demon and Phantasy have actually only played each other once in one of these prior cups. Phantasy, his only losses in these cups were one to Znatch and then one to Demon. So again, advanced stat cat analysis tracking, brand new technology, revolutionary in the streaming game. Gonna give you some insight. This is before today, by the way. I'm breaking noses daily. Appreciate the bits, man. These two right now are just flying around. This looks like two fighter jets maneuvering around for an angle. Demon right on top of them. 100 HP, 4 armor, but able to get the kill, up by 10 now. And this is very close to just getting completely out of hand. And Phantasy, just missed. He really wanted that belt. When someone plays this aggressively, what it really makes you do is make quick decisions. And Demon right now, oh, the turnaround, fade away sniper. Demon just red hot right now. Nothing Phantasy could do about that. So that'll be essentially two maps, right? Demon coming in with a 1-map advantage. So it is now a tournament map for Demon. One more map when he wins it. Fantasy's going to have to win 3 straight. And that's the advantage you get, right? Coming out from the upper brackets. So we get first map pick here. Already up 2-0. Demon's going to put a lot of pressure on Phantasy. But again, that's what he has earned from being undefeated in this tournament up to this point. All right, looks like we're going to be on ASDF. This is the nice, pretty, textured and meshed version. All right, predictions coming up, y'all. Get your
Hail
fake
to the
money on the
king,
line.
baby.
All right, players are already ready. Here comes your countdown. 3, 2, 1. Man, it's game time, baby. Connex 5 here in the grand finals. Demon just took Erase, giving him tournament point. He is one map away from continuing his clean sweep of these duel tournaments. Phantasy has given him some fits in the past. This map in particular, though, kind of an interesting pick here. I'm surprised we're not seeing Leah. I don't exactly know how the map picks changed for grand finals. May have been a different setup. The SDF, I think one that Demon's going to feel a little bit more comfortable on, but Phantasy does take an early lead. Demon bounced him up, thought we were going to see an air rocket. I mean, I guess we did see an air rocket, but kills himself in the process. We've seen that so many times today for whatever reason. Stinger chases and self-damage rockets have been the theme of this tournament. Oh, look at that. Look at that chase down by Phantasy. Just hugged the corner, went around, smacked Demon down, got him right off the spawn, and this is where Demon's aggression come back to hurt him. If someone knows his playstyle like Phantasy does, he can get some of these free kills. Air rocket, and again hits himself in the face. He's gonna have to pick up health. Catches Demon. I think he wanted to throw goo. Oh, Demon just hopped right over that goo. He might back into it though. Has to be careful. Phantasy afraid of damaging himself. You know, he probably should have just shot it. If Phantasy shoots that rocket, he probably kills himself. In any case, chases him down with the Enforcers right off the spawn, up to a 4 frag lead. And when Phantasy has done well against Demon, it's looked exactly like this. Oh, Demon rockets himself. Now, Phantasy is out of rocket ammo and only has a sniper right now. Keep that in mind. Ooh, big opportunity there. Demon has him in a tough spot, looking for that. Ooh, that was a lot of pressure. Phantasy had to hit that snipe. And the follow-up again, just trying to get as much damage on the board as possible before Demon takes him down with the Enforcer. Demon back on the board, but what can he do with it? Only 15 HP. These two are playing hyper aggressive right now, but ooh, 193 damage from those rockets. Great prediction. You thought Demon might just jump for it. Instead, baited Phantasy. I like that move. You saw Phantasy went across to the right, hit him from the other side of that pillar. You don't see a lot of folks doing that. A lot of times people will dive towards the health in the other direction. Oh, that combo just missed. Both players pretty even, not very stacked, but kind of equally not stacked. He's slowing down a little bit right as I say that. Close range rocket to rocket. You figure that's going to benefit Phantasy. It does, and he also gets that shield belt up 6-0 now. Still relatively early on in this one, given the flurry of fighting and just damage that we've seen coming out. Ooh, missing those shots. He does hit the fadeaway though, so Demon's still only 36 HP. He's got to go for health. Phantasy knows it's going to try to throw a combo up just to turn him away. Oh, he bet on the armor instead of health. Bet wrong, and again, guess wrong. Phantasy had 2 opportunities there. Ultimately just smacking him down with the primary. And the sniper, 1 shot away, pulls out the stinger. I think he was looking for maybe the shock rifle, not sure. Pulls out the stinger instead of the link. Interesting move there. We're seeing both of these players use stinger in different situations that we're used to seeing it in the past. Ooh, looking for the home run shots. There's a sniper back and forth. Demon gets the second shot out first. Only 15 HP though. But that shield belt will be critical because it'll give him a little bit essentially of extra XP. Close range rocket. Phantasy again trying to avoid damaging himself. Has to be careful. The last time he did that, he ended up giving up a kill with no damage. Would have been better off just trading and killing both of them. He does escape. Gonna throw his shock ball out. And see, he's not even trying to combo, just trying to disrupt him. manipulating Demon just a little bit, catches him in midair. He's going to have to be on the run. The big combo, and Demon can, oh, it would have smacked him down if Demon, he dodged right into his face. If Demon gets hit by that shock, he's dead. Instead, pulls another one out. Both of Demon's kills have come when Phantasy was one shot away from getting the kill first. So Phantasy living on the edge with some of these fights, chasing him down there, has been well in control in the first half, but Demon actually has had more damage. And that's not uncommon. We've seen that from Phantasy in the past, where he wins games despite not winning the damage battle in Phantasy, catching him diving for that belt. You wonder if there's a little bit of tilt action there. But remember, since the first map went to Demon, it's essentially a 2-map lead. He just has to win 1 map to win this tournament. Phantasy's going to have to win 3 in a row. Certainly off to a good start here, step 1. I'm very curious what the next map would be if Phantasy were to hold on to this one. Big combo. And he's caught Demon doing that a couple of times in this event. Diving at him, trying to get the finishing blow and making him eat a combo. Now, that time, he kept moving through that combo and actually got the health. Phantasy needed to push him away from that health, and he could have finished him off. Said he goes down. We're going to head over to Demon's perspective. See what it looks like. Oh, big rocket on Phantasy going up that lift. We've seen that so many times today. You just shoot that rocket into the corner. Unavoidable splash damage. You almost want to head up the lift and then immediately dodge off just to bait people into rocketing that. Here's those 50-50s. Oh, the mid-air rocket. Oh, smacks him down. I don't even know. That goo might have hit him. I'd be curious to see that from the replay perspective. Another air-to-air rocket takes them both out. I thought that goo was going to hit him, and then the rockets were going to take him out, but instead, rockets take out both. Looking for mid-air rockets again. Nice job waiting till he landed. It was perfect timing. Stinger coming out, though. It's going to put a lot of pressure on him. Yeah, he really needed to grab that flak and hit a flak primary. Didn't happen. Nice flak ball there. I was completely blind by Phantasy. Didn't even see him there. And the alt fire. 30 damage Stinger alt fire. It's no joke. See it coming out again. Instant kill. This has been a non-stop sprint this entire match. They've had no time to collect themselves. It's been kind of scrambly, and yet Phantasy coming out on top, and that's a good sign for him. I thought that type of gameplay, I think, would benefit Demon. Gives you less time to think, less time to set up some of the setups, frankly, some of the traps and things that I think Phantasy really excels at. Thinking a straight just brawl, I think Demon probably comes out on top. But that said, I mean, Phantasy coming out with a pretty solid win at this point, 13-4. Certainly not over yet, but given that Demon is stopping to type, I'm presuming that he's just sort of playing this one out to keep warm for the next map. A quick look at the scoreboard. Another air rocket coming out. Phantasy with 6 belts to 1. I mean, that's really going to be huge. Actually did take the health or take the damage lead towards the end as well. You see the mind games. Demon basically saying, I've got 2 minutes on the clock to play mind games. Now, thing to keep in mind, Phantasy is actually one of the admins for this event, so if he really wanted to, he could probably make up some rules on the spot or something. I don't know. I'm not sure how the rules Gestapo works for this Duel Cup. Alright, so we're playing this one out. It's essentially garbage time. I think Demon may be playing some mind games. Like, he knows this one's over. I think he's actually just making Phantasy stick around. Maybe hurting his momentum, right? Phantasy was on a roll. Kind of slowed down in the last minute or so as they were sort of chatting and stuff. A little bit of gamesmanship. These two know each other very, very well. So, yeah. Phantasy's going to go ahead and end his own spree, not even allowing Demon to get the satisfaction of ending it. So right now it's going to be 2 maps to 1, so it'll be 2 maps to Demon, 1 map to Phantasy. So it's still tournament point as far as maps are concerned for Demon. Phantasy's going to have to win the next 2 in order to win. Phantasy crapping out a bio ball for us at the end there. In any case, I mean, it was back and forth early on, but Phantasy running away with it in the second half. There haven't been many map losses by Demon in these tournaments. That might be the first map loss we've seen. I'm not actually sure off the top of my head if we saw anyone push them to 3 before. We are on solo. This is an intriguing one, actually. Okay. Yeah, I could. This is a tricky one.
Hail to the king, baby.
Breaking noses, this is essentially, it's best of 5. Demon basically came in with a 1 map advantage. So he's up 2-1 right now. So it's first to 3. All right, players are ready. Here's your countdown. 3, 2, 1, and it's game time, baby. ConX5. Here in our grand finals, this is, we'll call it map number 4, 2 map to 1 advantage for Demon. It is tournament point for him. But we did just see Phantasy running away on ASDF, and this is a map that, from my money, isn't so different as far as the size, the complexity, a lot of prediction coming into play, and close range fights over the pickups. If Phantasy can make it a close range scrambling kind of fight like he did last game, he has an opportunity to continue this match. Demon, of course, looking to secure yet another cup win. Hasn't lost a match in these community cups. He was 10-0 coming into the day. I think he's won another, what, four matches at this point? Rockets, you see him just baiting him into the Rockets, trying to get that free damage, and he does. Slides under to get that Under Armour, gets another rocket on him, and the headshot. Phantasy just juggling him, facing death. Bats him around like a cat, and then eats the rockets right back at him. And you see that wasn't even a bind. Demon actually stopped to type that. I wouldn't even call it chippiness between these two because they know each other so well. See them trading tags with that sniper rifle back and forth. Phantasy going to try to stay in control of that map, though. Not wanting to... I don't think he wants to get into long-range sniper battle necessarily. Demon, though, down to 5 HP. Surprised, that you haven't seen Enforcer come out. I don't think Phantasy quite realizes just how low he was. 1 health vial away from death there. Had the shot he wanted. Had another shot that he wanted. Demon just raining down rockets. There it is. I was like, such a dangerous play, backing down into those health bubbles. There's one sniper looking for another. 1 HP for Phantasy, gets the kill on Demon and the shield belt. I don't know if Demon understands just how weak he was there, but I'm sure he will know shortly after the match. I doubt Phantasy will let him forget that. Rockets coming out. Stinger coming out against Link. They've been liking this combination. Pulling out Stinger against Link. Demon gonna back away, so heavy respect. Not standing in there. Oh, and the turnaround snipe, though, by Phantasy. I was surprised to even see him switch to snipe. You saw Demon, though, again, endlessly aggressive, trying to get in behind him and cut him off despite having basically no health. Oh, there's another torpedo by the air rockets of Phantasy. Looking for the rocket grenade. Maybe just trying to push him away as much as anything. Still 10 seconds to that belt spawns. Looking for the mid-air rocket, and he pins him down. Smacks him out of the sky. Another air rocket. Phantasy, I don't know what the record is for air rockets in a tournament match, but Phantasy might be gunning for that right now. So up 6-1, dictating the flow of the map. Dead even on damage, but those pickups, 3 belts to nothing, really telling the story. I think more than anything, Phantasy's been able to dictate the flow of the match. Ooh, nice prediction combo. Has Demon really confused at the moment, just doesn't know where Phantasy's coming from. Whoa, weird little glitchy business there. I'm not sure if that was on my side or Phantasy's side. Could have been a little internet hiccup. Nice patience there. You saw him waiting for him to dive off the wall, knowing that he could have dodged his rocket at any moment. Good consistent play, and that rocket right there, not everyone can hit that. He makes it look easy. Phantasy turns the corner, smacks him with the shock primary, finishes him off with a rocket straight to his feet. Most people don't even make that weapon switch, let alone hit that rocket. Phantasy really settling into his playstyle. Oh, I had the combo. Oh, and Demon dives right back into it. Yeah, I don't know. Demon looking a little shaky right now. This just might not be his map. I mean, again, these players know each other very well. This might be a map where Demon knows it's just free for Phantasy. I don't know that for a fact, but his oh, and another Phantasy. That is just, or excuse me, another headshot for Phantasy. That is just demoralizing. And Phantasy running away with it. There's the concession. 5 minutes in. Big win by Phantasy. All right, things are getting interesting. So, if I'm not mistaken, that means it all comes down to this last map, right? All right, here's your predictions. Get them in. Deep will be the final map of this tournament. It will determine our winner. So I don't know if anyone in chat is familiar with these two, their matchup on Deep. I've definitely seen Phantasy play it more in tournament matches. All right, here we go. We're getting kicked off. Your countdown is live. 3, 2, 1, and it's game time, baby. Connex 5 here with the grand final, last map of this tournament. Winner takes it all. Phantasy, first one to take maps off of Demon, really has given him his greatest challenge in recent tournaments. Coming up from the lower bracket, winning 2 out of 3, forcing the winner take all map 5 here. Two players very familiar with each other. We've seen that come into play. Lots of prediction, knowing the moves, knowing where they tend to cross the maps. Ooh, you see that fall away Stinger alt fire doing 120 damage. He gets the telefrag. Demon with the first telefrag of the tournament. And I think that'll be Demon's first lead in quite some time in this matchup. Oh, Phantasy, though, baits him into rockets, grabs the shield belt, takes him out, and it looks like Phantasy looking to push it. Again, if he can make this a close to medium range fight, His sniper has been on point anyway in the final. But if he can make this a rockets, flak, even short range combos type of matchup, definitely benefits him. See him baiting him, waiting for him to head. Ooh, nice move by Demon, goes up top. Counter the counter. He's still up top, so we can jump down to that 100 armor. We can try to push him off. Remember, you can get knocked backwards off of that platform, off the map for an instant death. Nice dodge by Phantasy. And another midair rocket, 100 damage right into his face. Gonna try to finish him off with Link. Dangerous to dive in against Flak. But 1 HP for Demon. He's pulling out the sniper. He could have Enforcer out just as easily. Oh, but the overkill just explodes him. Couple of 100 extra damage there for no reason at all. Just styling now, but 2-1. Phantasy on top and in the driver's seat. Still tons of time left to go, though. All right, things slowing down a little bit. Both players backing up. Both getting a little bit stacked up. Demon with 135 HP. Ooh, that flak ball just touched him. Didn't do much. But it might have scared him away. You do have 8 seconds till the 100 armor. Still about 30 till belt. So what does Demon do right now? If I'm him, I'm trying to grab some vials, but Phantasy pushed him off, and that's a smart play by Phantasy. But he misses the jump. Nice turnaround up the lift, but he doesn't quite connect. Still in control. He's got 15 seconds to the belt spawns. Demon will be able to challenge it as he gets that 25 armor. It's just a question of where Phantasy wants to be. He's stuck down low, but can deny that shock rifle if Demon needs it for ammo. He's just going to stand in there, and Demon missing some shot primary. He's going to throw some combos behind him. Eats a sniper. Oh, Demon has to be careful here. He's only got 100 HP. There's another sniper. Rocket around the corner. Could take him out. Oh, that flak ball just barely grazed him. The shard off the ball hit him. Now Demon's got Phantasy in a tough spot. Back in that corner, but still no armor for Demon. A little bit more damage from a flak ball. Some of these flak balls have been kind of low-key, like low-key scary. They've been just an inch away from taking out Demon. Phantasy with the pure prediction on some of those. Demon down to 21 HP. Phantasy can push the lead to 2 if he can track him down. Still snipeable. He's running around with the shock out, I think looking for that combo to deny him that corner. Nice delay. I'd say 99% of players probably don't even connect that combo, let alone get the damage off of it. Big combo now from below, and Phantasy again with the perfect prediction. And the direct rocket. Is that the 6th or 7th direct rocket? He's just torpedoing him left and right, making rockets look like they're insta-gib. Raining meat fireworks down all over the map, and Phantasy is in control about halfway through. Looking for it again. Oh, looking for the splash damage off the column. Anyone out there who's trying to improve your rockets, go back and look at moments like that in slow motion and try to run through the check down, through the flow charts in the mind of the person shooting them. Phantasy there didn't go for the midair rocket that time because he knew he had him lined up. He looked at the column, wanted to get the splash damage, dove off, saw him dive off the column, dodge off it rather. Waited for him to land, took him out there. You saw the rockets again around the corner. Every kill that he gets with rockets, you know that that's just building up stress in Demon's head too. You know that he hates going up against that. That said, it's still only a 5 frag lead. We're halfway through this map. It's a great position for Phantasy to be in, but we'll go to Demon's perspective and see what it looks like. You can rack up kills reasonably fast in this map. 5 minutes is plenty of time for 5 kills. Even 6 for that matter, as Phantasy finishes him off with that sniper. But now's when it's tough. Now's when you look at the... Ooh. Oh, nice Link chase down there, completely obliterating his stack. But you can't dive back into him and give up another kill if you're Demon. You did a little bit of damage. You got to get something out of it. He wasn't able to get to that 100 armor. And I think maybe Demon, knowing that he can beat most players in a toe-to-toe, just straight fragging contest, sometimes he baits himself into getting into those situations where he dives at him with a disadvantage. He gets baited in. We've seen that against Phantasy in the past. I think that's something that Phantasy is really using to close that gap. I mean, Phantasy obviously is a great fragger. Ooh, but he's really catching him out of position, and that's how he's winning these fights. He's baiting him in. Again, Stinger versus Link. We've seen this matchup, but the extra health and armor for Phantasy is going to give him an advantage, and just hitting that shot. What a clutch shot by Phantasy. If he misses that, he gives up belt Who knows what happens? Uh-oh, Demon conceding. And 3 maps in a row. Phantasy coming back from the lower bracket. Number 5 seed. We called him a dark horse pick early on in the pregame. He had given Demon fits in prior matches. We saw another classic matchup from them earlier in the upper bracket. Ultimately, Demon coming out on top again. Phantasy coming out, losing the first map on Erase, and then hangs in there. Knows that he has some more shorter range, some maps that are more his playstyle coming up. Takes 3 in a row, and Phantasy finally ends Demon's streak. Demon had been red hot, 10-0 in Community Cups coming into this one. Had been undefeated up into the grand finals. We can take a look at that. And Phantasy coming through the lower bracket. We'll even raise the music for that one. You know, that was a great win there from Phantasy. I mean, you look at, let's just look at the run, right? Look at the run. I mean, you saw, started off, where was he? Against Plasma, right? Plasma, someone who's been kind of on the come up, right? Someone who could definitely outplay a seed, dangerous player. Took him out, played Znatch. Znatch, really one of the only people that's beaten Phantasy in the past year and a half. Took him out 2-1. So, you know, facing elimination, a close matchup there. Ends up going to Demon. Demon 1-2-0, but we saw those matches. They were dead even, really close. You should definitely go back and watch those VODs on Dusic's stream. That's twitch.tv/DusicFPS. He casted the first half of this match, or this tournament, rather. Yeah, so then that knocked him down to the lower bracket. Phantasy coming down, taking out Sass, who is red hot himself, right? Coming in, overplaying his 8 seed up to that top 6. Took him out, dispatched Reflex after that. Took out Yi. I mean, look at this, you know, look at this lineup that Phantasy had to fight through to get to the winner's bracket, only to be a map down against Demon. Demon had that first map pick, right? Picked a race. Took him up 2-0. He was facing elimination, won 3 in a row. So just really a nice comeback there by Phantasy. And we're up to 100 viewers too, so appreciate that. I think we've just kissed the triple-digit mark. I know we've had folks from all over the world, South America, North America, Europe, you know, a little bit of Asia. I don't know if we've had any Australian folks joining us, but certainly welcome. But yeah, there's been, I think there's a $4,000 prize pool here, and I don't exactly know how it's broken down. I'll let the admins cover that. Certainly, we had some classic matches all the way down. Even that, like the 5 and 6 match, Crytek versus Sass. You know, we talked about Demon versus Phantasy being like a really classic grudge match over the last year or so. Crytek versus Sass is turning into one, dead even between those two. Be really curious to see, you know, what happens in later tournaments, upcoming tournaments. We saw Yi come through his second major tournament that we've seen him play in. Took Phantasy to 3 maps, right? 3rd place finish, certainly a good showing for him. And then some of the folks that couldn't make it, right? Like we had a couple of folks had to bow out. You had Soap Smells Good, who much like Sass had really outplayed his seed last tournament. Came up, had to bow out, but curious to see how he fits into things moving forward. You see the bracket updating there. You know, Killing, again, appreciate Killing, really was helpful in organizing this thing. He had to bow, he had to step out of the last minute, give up his spot because he had some work stuff to do, but he helped run and he helped organize it. Was instrumental in the streamers on our side, kind of organizing and getting ourselves into the right matches. So shout out to him, you know, finding a way to help out even though he couldn't play. And shout out to the viewers. I'm seeing 103 right now. So again, everyone from all over the world hanging out. Appreciate that, chatting, having fun, talking smack. You know, it's been all good. I really appreciate the vibe that we've gotten during these events. I mean, if someone wants to jump on and give us an interview, that's on Phantasy. I'll jump into Discord if he wants to join us and talk about it. If he wants to flex a little bit, he certainly can.
Hello? What up?
What's up, man? Hold on, let me lower your volume just a touch. All right, so Fantasy joining us.
Oh man. I feel like Hydro. I had like 2 Red Bulls today.
Is that your normal routine? I know this isn't what people want to hear about, but I'm always curious because like some people think energy drinks make you jittery. Some people think that's just how they're used to playing. That's like normal for them.
I definitely like so the first time I played Demon, I was definitely jittery. And even when I played I think when I played Snatch, right? I was gonna I just my aim wasn't steady. And so a couple of guys messaged me, after I was, going through the losers bracket just to relax my sniper aim. And I mean it definitely helped, right? Because if you're trying to hit twitch shots and you're on caffeine, I don't think it's a good idea. So I think it's just better to steady aim it.
Yeah, I mean you tend to over aim. I think a lot of times when you're a little too hype, right? You got to kind of calm yourself
Exactly.
down. So I mean, you and Demon, I know that you guys know each other. I mean, what is your, I don't want to say relationship, like what is your competitive relationship? Just so that for the viewers that may not know that you guys, played on teams together and such, like how well do you know each other?
I mean, we played what 2 seasons of UTPL together. So normally before like a big matchup where there was like SAS or CC, I'd duel Demon. And so that's kind of we played each other for a while, but ever since he got into when he switched to his 165 hertz monitor, he's just been farming people. It's like his aim is nuts. So I think you really gotta either your aim has to be on fire or you better hit every projectile when he's up close.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like to me, whenever he first came out with, let's just call it the hardware upgrade, his Link in particular, tracking weapons really improved
Yep.
a lot, which makes a lot of sense when you think about, just upgrading to a high refresh rate and all of that and the control you get from that. Um, so, I mean, when you go up against him, denying weapons isn't as big of a thing in this game just because of the respawn times, but you do still see it sometimes. You see people like on deep, cycling through shock, for instance.
Hmm.
You certainly see people trying to deny the spawn on sniper on a race. We've seen that
Yep.
from both sides a couple of times. Is there any particular strategy when you go up against someone like Demon, or is it more or less just execution?
I mean, it's a little of both, right? It's definitely execution, but it's like like maps like Erase. I can't I don't have the aim that V or no, sorry V Yi. Well, V has good aim too, but Yi or Demon or Reflex have, and so Erase is one of the I'd say the heaviest sniper maps. And so once you're out of control, like they can just run a train on you in a sense. But I think it's for me, it's better to pick slower maps. And ASTF is not necessarily slow, but maps like solo and deep, where you can actually stack up, grab health, regroup for the next fight. I think those are the better maps against guys with really great aim.
Yeah, so one thing I noticed too is that there's been a lot more Stinger usage during this tournament. Were there recent changes to it? Is it just kind of the, I hate the word meta, but is that just like the thing people are doing now? Even like Stinger versus Link, people were backing away with Link out. They were saying, I don't want any part of that heads up duel.
So I mean, so it was a mixture of two things, right? Link got a nerf, so he went from 5 per tick to 4 per tick, and then rockets and flak got buffed, right? And so it was no more like snipe somebody, switch to Link, and they die with they die. Now it's you switch to sniper, switch is also slower. Sorry. Now it's you pushing in against projectiles, like projectiles are actually something to be feared again. So you either hit all your long range shots, or you switch to minigun, because minigun it's similar to Link, but it has a lot more distance, so you don't have to run into somebody's rockets or their flak ball.
Yeah, I mean, if finishing from a close range against projectiles is more dangerous, then switching to the finisher that has infinite range makes a lot more sense.
Exactly. Exactly.
So what about map selection? You've had actually when you placed Demon early on in the tournament, if I'm not mistaken, you guys played, was it a race in Leah?
Yep. Yep.
You actually did better on a race against him than I expected.
The
We've
first
seen you
time.
we've seen you give him fits on Leah. How did the map selection go for the finals? I'm not actually sure what the order was or anything. Like obviously a race came out first, and you went to the smaller maps. But we didn't see Leah come out. Was that something that was
Mhm.
banned? Was that something that you specifically didn't choose?
So my strategy was right. The only map I've seen Demon like get beat somewhat badly on is ASDF. So I was like, I'm not picking Leah again. He's beating me 2 tournaments in a row on Leah. I'm not gonna. and I lost the snatch last tournament on Leah. So Leah is just not, not the map for me. So I picked ASDF. I mean, Reflex has beaten him there maybe once or twice now. But yeah, I picked that map, and then he banned Leah. So he had banned. So he, obviously he had two. He had an extra ban because he had the one map advantage. So his first ban was Mythic. I banned Alanis, and then it just kind of went from there. Like I picked ASDF, and then he banned. Like I said, Leah. He banned Leah, and so then it ultimately ended up being race ASDF solo indeed.
Gotcha. And have there been? I mean, when you saw that map list, you guys, again for folks that aren't familiar, like you guys have played a lot together. You generally have a decent idea, at least in practice matches, how things have gone. Sometimes it translates into tournament matches. Sometimes it doesn't. I go back to like in fighting games, you'll talk about like an 8-2 matchup versus a 6-4 matchup or whatever. How did you feel going into that? Like seeing that map? I mean, obviously feeling a race coming out first, put you down, facing elimination. You're probably not confident. I don't think anyone's confident going up against Demon on a race, though you did play well against him earlier in the day. I mean, I don't know. What was your thoughts going into the finals, seeing that map list?
I mean, obviously you're not supposed to think this, but race was like a lost cause, like going in. So my goal was just win the next 3 maps, right? Because I don't really necessarily have the aim for a race, at least not in UT Plus. Like in stock, it's a little slower because of the weapon switch, but in UT Plus, I definitely don't think I have the aim to beat the better aimers.
Yeah, I mean,
but in terms of weapons, not to cut you up, in terms of in terms of maps, Demon Demon kind of hates ASDF. I mean, he hates ASDF as well. So I've grinded a lot of ASDF, right? So that's why that was my pick. And then even maps like solo, I haven't played Demon too much on that, but we're both, I'd say, pretty good solo players. And then Demon for a long time was like the deep master in NA, so that one was a toss up. But I think he was just ready for this thing to be over, kind of thing.
Well, I've noticed that you've been able to catch him on maps like ASDF and Deep. You've caught him crossing the map, like crossing, because those maps are kind of radial. It's kind of like a circle with then like crisscrosses through the middle. You've caught him with combos and rockets crossing through the middle of the map more than most people. You hit, I think, 6 or 7 midair rockets on him today, largely catching him being aggressive, taking risks. Is that a conscious thing? Like, do you just sort of at this point, you kind of have player profiles in your head? Like if you played someone 1,000 times, you just kind of instinctively know what to expect them to be.
I think it's a little bit of both, right? So I would say for 95% of my UT career, I was playing 4-3 stretched. And so last tournament, Reflex was like, hey, switch to 1080p. But this was like the week of the tournament. So I was like, nah, I won't do that. And so I ended up getting what, 5th place? Yeah, I got 4th or 5th place. I don't remember. Anyway, this tournament, I was like, you know what? I'm going to, use 1080p only. And so the first thing I noticed when I switched to 1080p is that my aim with every gun got better. And so, prediction rockets, even prediction flak balls, or just sniper. I think that played a big part in it. It's just using 1080p instead of stretched.
Gotcha. So yeah, if anybody out there is using 4-3 stretched, I'm sure there's probably 0. But if anyone's thinking about it, if you want to be like Phantasy, play like normal.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, a lot of folks may or may not know this, but you've been kind of instrumental with also helping run some of these tournaments. If you want to give people a quick, both description of how kind of what your role has been in organizing these, and also if there's any shout outs to other people that have been helping you out with it.
Definitely San Killing, basically everyone from the staff, right? If anybody that was home, like people left midway, you and Dusik, like just thanks to everyone that made this one of the better tournaments.
Yeah, and we've had, I haven't been keeping track actually, we probably should. We almost need our own like esports earning website for UT events. I mean, any shout outs to specific folks that have been donating? We haven't really had like sponsors per se. There's just been the community donating left and right, and the same thing, showing love to obviously us streamers in our stream.
Yeah, I mean it's usually the same donors, but they know who they are. So I will Exit donated the first 3,000, and then we had an anonymous donor for the other 1,000. So thanks to Exit and the other donor. But yeah, this was a great event. I'm glad everyone had fun, and there's a couple upsets, right? Like Sass was powering through. Crytek made it to the top 6.
Yeah, Crytek and Sass, they were seeded 8 and 9. Crytek they finished 5th and 6th. Right, that was our 5 versus 6 match. So 2 players, and I called it out on stream. They both kind of outplayed their seeds in prior tournaments, and that's how they got. I mean, I thought Sass being a number 8 seed was not a stretch, but that was sort of a new thing. Like it was sort of something he had earned by outplaying prior seeds, being kind of double-digit seeds in prior tournaments, and then taking out Plasma and Rookie back to back to finish in that 5-6 spot, and then Crytek taking out Znatch, probably the upset of the tournament. Znatch of course playing from Europe, so not like a favorite, but certainly, I mean, he's been playing with high ping for a while. He's still going to be scary no matter who you're playing.
Yeah, Snatch is definitely, I would say, the best dueler from Europe. So every time you face him, you got to bring your A game, or he's gonna send you to the losers bracket or send you home. So it was definitely well played to Crytek and to Sass, and just thanks to everyone who played. And so we, like I mentioned, we had gotten an extra 1K today, so I got to figure out how the the breakdown's gonna be, but it's basically gonna be the same percentage as the previous 3K.
Okay, so even more money for the breakdowns.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy coming at this point. And then shout out, I see some people are throwing bits out on my stream. Appreciate that, everybody. I will work on getting that pop-up fixed. But I don't know, anything else like upcoming events that we want to talk about? I don't know of anything coming up at the moment. I mean, I'm sure that this momentum's gonna continue to some extent.
Sure.
Through it as we get into the summer. Certainly folks are probably going to be leaving the house in the next few months at some point a little bit more, but definitely, like I said, a lot of events. That when I was pulling stats for this, I was looking, we had like 4 or 5 community cups just for Duel in the past year and a half, and that's on top of all the UTPL stuff. We've seen a lot of activities, so I mean, I don't know if we had anything else planned that you're aware of. Certainly, I know it's there's always something in the works.
Sure. So I know there's a CTF draft by Samix, but short term, I'm not sure what's next. Maybe Reeve is his EU monthly cup thing will be the next thing that happens. But as far as NA, I think everyone wants a break, so maybe the next Duel Cup, maybe 3 to 4 months. But I think, I think there is a limb draft in the works, so that'll be, I think, the next thing for NA, or with salaries, whatever. But I think the next thing is at a limb cup.
Gotcha. All right, well, that's all I got from my side, man. If there's any other questions in chat, actually, that'll probably take them I'm on a 20-second delay, so it'll probably take you guys a while to get them in. I should have asked that like 5 minutes ago. But otherwise, are there any last second shout outs, comments to, other players or anyone watching or anything?
Adrian, I did it. No, I'm kidding. No, just thanks everyone for watching. Thanks to UConn and to Deucic for streaming. And hopefully there's more events, to see some more great plays. That's all I got as well.
All right, well, with that, I'm going to roll on out of here. Appreciate everyone for hanging out. As always, shout out to the players, to the admins. This tournament, honestly, flew right along for the number of people we had in it. So appreciate that, everybody. Thanks, Phantasy, for joining us, and congrats on the win. And shout out to everyone for hanging out, chatting, even just watching and throwing it on your TV in the living room while you, bake brownies, whatever you did with your day. Appreciate you sharing it with us, and be on the lookout. My VODs will be up, obviously, on this Twitch, YouTube/ConX5, Twitch/Deucic FPS. He casted the first half of the matches. You definitely want to go back and watch those. And I'll want to give appreciation for everyone for taking part, and I'll see you guys next time.